What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. We have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight with potential Tropical Cyclone 4, so I figured I'd call in a little bit of help. We have Yoshi on the line. Yoshi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Just trying to look at my own stuff right now.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be giving you all the facts and all the latest details, as well as the latest track models for potential Tropical Cyclone 4, as it appears that this thing is going to be developing in the next few hours. So we want to give you the latest and greatest here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel as we get more information and as we continue to see this thing evolve. So here's the situation we have going on right here. Here is the current satellite of potential Tropical Cyclone 4. It is currently off the coast of Cuba. It is off the southern coast of Cuba, actually, which is pretty interesting to take a look at, and just kind of a bit of an observation to kind of pan out, because this is kind of starting to affect some of the forecasts, at least with the track, by a little bit, and we'll show you those track models in just a second. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and pull up the latest from the National Hurricane Center, potential Tropical Cyclone 4. Here's what we have pulled up for you right now. This is the public advisory. Its current location is 21.4 degrees north, 78.9 degrees west. It is 70 miles west of Camagüey in Cuba, or about 285 miles southeast of Key West in Florida. It is moving at 16 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are at 30 miles per hour, and its minimum central pressure has decreased from 1,012 to 1,010, which is pretty interesting right there. But here's the forecast discussion. Right here, maximum sustained winds once again are 30 miles per hour with higher gusts. The disturbance is expected to develop into a tropical depression tonight or on Saturday, while over Cuba or in the Straits of Florida, following by intensification into a tropical storm in the eastern Gulf of Mexico by Saturday night. The formation chances have really ramped up in the last 24 hours. At this time when we did the stream last night, they were at 30% and 70% for 48 hours and 7 days respectively. Now they are at 90 and 90, which is absolutely bonkers to even think about, and that's such a massive jump from just yesterday. And Yoshi over here, he has something that he would like me to go ahead and read out to you guys. This is kind of his forecast that he wants me to go ahead and read. So we're going to go ahead and read that, and then I'm going to ask him a few questions about the analysis and all that. So let's go ahead and do that. A tropical wave, now potential Tropical Cyclone 4, is very close to being a tropical cyclone. This will likely be a tropical cyclone by tonight or early tomorrow as it starts to move north. It has been forming faster than forecasted. Anyone from Naples to Alligator Point should be watching this closely. Computer models have stayed roughly the same forecast, perhaps a little bit west. Special areas and statements along the west coast and panhandle of Florida should be preparing for strong winds and flooding. Expect 4 to 8 inches of rain in your area with highly isolated amounts up to 10 inches. Also be prepared for very gusty conditions with sustained winds of up to 65 miles per hour upon landfall. Official forecasts and designations, the NHC has continued to designate it as PTC4. However, it's acknowledged that it could form tonight. Watches, warnings, advisories. A storm surge watch has been issued across the Florida west coast, and tropical storm watches have been extended to the mouth of the Swanee River. Yep. All right. Perfect. Here is his writer's comments. It is PTC4 is very close to being, if not already a tropical depression. It has rotation and is very good convection. Some are arguing it already is a tropical depression. The center is more likely south than the NHC says, so a west shift is likely through tonight. So Yoshi, I want to go ahead and start with this last part right here. Some are arguing it's already a tropical depression. Do you know who exactly has been kind of talking about that?
A couple people among Weather Service, some more knowledgeable people have been acknowledging the possibility of this being a tropical depression. However, they do also acknowledge the fact that they do need better data to conclude that it is an actual form system. I personally would disagree with those people unless if wind data comes out, or any sort of data that would indeed show that it is a tropical system. But I will tell you, I do believe that there is a pretty good chance that it will develop within the next few hours.
All right. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Second thing I wanted to talk about is some of the statements you put up with the flood threat. This appears to be, according to what I've seen from several indications, at least unless something unexpected happens, this appears to be the biggest threat out of all of them. What are your thoughts on this, and what's your kind of assessment of just the kind of threat level we're looking at? And in your opinion, what's the greatest threat? Based off of what you're saying.
In my opinion, the greatest threat, I would agree with most people in saying that the greatest threat would be flooding. Flooding concerns, especially among the Tampa Bay area, are warranted. And flooding is very likely throughout the entire Tampa Bay area, especially at the coasts. And that, along with storm surge, expected to be at 2 to 4 feet up to Arapica, are expected, which will definitely help with the flooding. However, there are indeed other concerns. You should not just be preparing for flooding. You should also be preparing for wind, as this thing is expected to landfall at 65 miles an hour. I would say right around Alligator Point, similar to Idalia. However, due to this thing forming faster than a lot of us have expected, and some calling for the possibility of a hurricane, you should definitely also be preparing for wind threats, as that is also a possibility. I'm looking at the environment right now. Something higher than that is certainly not out of the question, but it should not be expected.
All right. Okay, you were kind of mentioning the track shifted a little bit to the west, and kind of the NHC is a little bit off with their point of where this thing is at. We were talking about this a little bit before the stream. I have the track models pulled up right here that has this system further west and deeper into the and further off the coast of Cuba. This appears to have shifted the track pretty much from some models indicating this could make landfall in Tampa Bay towards the majority of them making landfall from Apalachicola Bay east throughout the Big Bend. What's your thoughts on this new track, and should people be concerned for a potentially a greater threat than what we were initially anticipating?
I wouldn't say people should be concerned or worried about it. I think they should be more prepared and more knowledgeable on this. But along the actual west track itself, I do believe that this is, at least to me, slightly more worrying, as this is going into higher OHC, ocean heat content, and into warmer SSTs, and it's definitely giving it way more time to actually be in the Gulf, which is very bad news,
Yep.
I would say. This, along with the fact it is developing quicker than both the NHC and most armchair meteorologists have expected, could mean that the initial forecast the NHC had would be too little, and that the storm definitely has a possibility of going over that intensity. I'm not saying it will, and I'm not expecting it to, at least not much. Maybe 5 miles an hour over, but probably not more than that. However, it definitely does have that possibility, and people definitely should be preparing for that scenario.
All right. So, next thing I wanted to ask you a little bit about is, Yoshi, have you been paying attention to like the dry air forecasts at all?
No, I have heard that dry air shouldn't be much of a problem at all.
All right.
Mainly because of a couple things. It's keeping itself pretty moist, and it likely will keep itself pretty moist throughout the entire thing. Dry air likely will not be an issue, as it's already in a position to where it can mix out dry air as an invest. So it can more than likely do that once it actually reaches tropical depression or storm status. It'll do that way easier than it is now, which it is already mixing out any dry air that is coming into the system. It has some really good outflow, as you can see. And along with the ULAC, which pretty much helps the storm along its entire way, we really don't have much things to stop it except for land, except for time. It's supposed to make landfall by late Sunday, somewhere on Sunday to early Monday. Mm-hmm. So it only has about 2 days to do things. The main question would be, can it do what it wants to do in 2 days? And I'd say it has a possibility of turning into a hurricane in 2 days. But it's likely going to stay as a tropical storm. But mainly for dry air, there is not much of a concern that dry air will impact it. Weather Dude Free has said, could this RI in the GOM? I would say it's a possibility. Don't expect it, but prepare for it. That's what my entire stance is. I learned from Hurricane Track that you should prepare for the worst and pray for the best.
Yes. That's the perfect message to go off of, especially with this system, because this has been such a tricky forecast for a lot of people, including myself, that we streamed about it last night. I was talking a little bit about it, and like we were telling you, we have no idea what this is going to do once it gets over Cuba. And we were talking about the possibilities of this thing either making just a close pass to the north of Cuba, making a close pass to the south of Cuba, or moving and ramming right through Cuba altogether. It appears to be taking a more of a southern route this time around, which was kind of what I was concerned about, because you were mentioning OHC before, Yoshi. Where this thing is at right now is in an area of about 125 OHC. That's a lot. And considering that this is just off the coast of Cuba, is pretty concerning to me. Because what you're seeing now is you're seeing convection starting to get a little bit better organized on satellite. I'm also noticing the outflow is really starting to ramp up quite a bit. Are you noticing that? Yeah.
Yes, I have. I've heard from others that the outflow is getting pretty good right now. And I will say we shouldn't worry about the OHC right now, mainly because this thing is going to pass through Cuba within, I'd say, 12 to 18 hours. So OHC likely wouldn't be useful much anyways, because it's not stalling there. I've seen throughout the day it moving through Cuba. It just came off the coast about 12 to 18 hours ago, and it's expected to go back into Cuba in about 6 to 12 hours. Yeah. So OHC shouldn't be much of a worry right now unless it suddenly decides to stall. But I think the main thing we should look at is actual sea surface temperature. Sea surface temperatures on the actual surface, not down below, because it won't up well. It's not strong enough, and it won't be very long enough. So if you can pull up an actual sea surface temperature map, I want to see those. I'm pretty sure it's like 30, 31.
All right. Yeah, I can actually go ahead and pull that up real quickly. Where it's at right now is about 30 to 31 degrees Celsius.
All right. Oh, hold on. I want to give you a link with a better SST map. That's slightly inaccurate, actually.
All right, go ahead and send that to me in VC Mike. I'll be waiting for that right now. But in the meantime, yeah, quite a situation right here. The big question that's kind of on my mind right now, Yoshi, is while you're getting that link, do you think the NHC is Do you think the NHC is going to go for it at 10 p.m. or wait for more information?
It really depends when the information comes. If they can get proof that there is a low-level circulation by 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then I'd say they'd probably go for it.
All right.
But I don't expect that to happen. I'd say officially it would probably be tropical cyclone by 5 a.m. or 11 a.m.
All right. All right. That's what I thought. I'm holding off on. I'm gonna hold off on saying this is gonna be a tropical depression by the time the stream ends tonight. we're
That'd be
just going to
very
need for more
surprising.
information. Yeah. Okay. Radar bolts in the chat right now. Okay, we have some questions right here. If you have questions in the chat, feel free to type them in. I'd be happy to answer them. It seems like the center is over water. That's because it is over. It's over water in the southern part of Cuba. Does the disturbance behind PTC4 have any chance to impact the Gulf? I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. Are you referring to the one that's in the main development region over here? Because if that's the case, then that's way too early to tell at this current point.
Way too far out. The
Yeah.
steering pattern does indicate it, that it could hit land somewhere, but even that's too early right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're referring to that,
I posted
You got
the better SST analysis.
oh, perfect.
Once you get to it, make sure you're at OISST and move to Western Atlantic or Gulf of Mexico.
Yep, I got it right here for the Western.
No, go up. OISST.
Yeah, I
Look
got
at
it.
that.
Yeah.
No, that's Coastal Reef Watch.
Yeah. I'll just do the Gulf of Mexico.
All right, that's good enough, I think. Actually, okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and pull up the Western. Oh, it's right here, and I can zoom in on this a little bit. All right. Okay. So, yeah, this is what we're looking at right now. These are about 30. These are about 30 degrees Celsius, from what I'm seeing.
It's in 30, and it could move into 31 before going up into Cuba and going north.
Yeah.
It's gonna encounter above 30 degrees Celsius temperatures for the majority of its life.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know how much 30 degrees Celsius of water is, it's 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Why is the center farther south on satellite than the NHC chart? I'm thinking the NHC kind of misanalyzed the center of where the center was, because Tropical Tidbits, as you can see right here, has this thing further to the west and further to the south of where the official NHC point is. I can go ahead and pull that up for you very quickly, just to kind of show you. It's right here. They have it right off the coast of Cuba, whereas Tropical Tidbits has this a bit further out, and that's based on satellite at this current point. The reason it seems like satellite has this thing moving in deeper into the water of the Caribbean than the NHC is because it is. So I hope that answers that question for you. In the meantime, be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us make more streams like these and helps get more people engaged with weather. It'd be much appreciated. And yeah, we will answer any questions you have in the chats, but we will be getting some, hopefully some more people in shortly to kind of talk about this. I know Weather Kingdom's going to be here in about 10 to 15 minutes, so he can help with the analysis a little bit. I know he's doing a video of his own, so I think he's probably doing a little bit of editing with that and trying to get it uploaded as fast as possible. So that's some good news on that part. In the meantime, I want to check the some satellite imagery I have. Oh, this is perfect right here, from the Joint Typhoon Weather Warning Center one right here with what was Invest 97 now PTC4. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the last hour. There is going to be a bit of flashing lights, so seizure warning for just very quickly for those of you who want to take a look at this. It's going to take a second to load in, but seizure warning for those who are wanting to take a look at it. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I kind of warned you very quickly. It's going to last just a second. There we go. So yeah, things are getting pretty interesting. One thing I'm noticing, Yoshi, is a lot of the convection, especially on the southern side of it, appears to have sustained itself for the last several hours, which is a big step from what we were seeing previously. If you
yeah, this is indicative of a quite healthy tropical system. It also has some rotation. Do you see that convection bursts near those Fin Islands.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that's where an elongated circulation is.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. And that's probably why Tropical Tidbits has the center over there instead of where the NHC has it.
Yeah, that's quite likely. I'm gonna go somewhere. Hold on. I know somewhere I can look at vorticity.
That's fine. Okay, in the meantime, while you're doing that, we have more questions.
Oh, I found it already.
Oh, all right, perfect. Go ahead.
It looks quite elongated from south to north. This is quite old, so it could be more bundled. It likely is. I'll send it off to a VC No Mic.
Sure. Perfect. Whenever you're ready.
Boom. All right. And it's good. Okay.
All right. Yeah, it looks like Weather Kingdom will be joining us in a few minutes, but yeah, I'm seeing your vorticity map. Could you explain to the audience what we're looking at right here with the vorticity and why it matters?
Pretty much, this is the spinning the atmosphere, which is important to tropical cyclones. In the 850 millibar range, which is where the height of the atmosphere, this is a part of the atmosphere where you want to see some kind of low-level circulation, which is required for an actual tropical system. And you see, although it's quite elongated, it is powerful. And more than likely, this is quite old. It updates every 3 hours, so we're probably going to see an update quite soon. But we should see it push a bit more south and a bit more powerful.
Yeah.
Looking at satellite.
Yep. Yeah, definitely seeing that. Looking at it right there. It's around, I'd say at this current point, about 100 of vorticity right now. It's around 100 right there, which is pretty powerful. And we'll get a new scan soon, hopefully, and it'll kind of give us an updated look on it. But in the meantime, while we're watching this, I'm gonna go ahead and answer some more questions. So is the system gonna spend more time over water? Yes. It has
been trending that way.
Yeah, it's tracking further to the west, which means it's going to be spending more time over water, because instead of it making maybe landfall in Tampa, now it's going to be making landfall in the Big Bend and maybe Apalachicola Bay. All right. I know yesterday during the stream I asked about the ceiling about the storm but with now going south of Cuba, would you still say 85 miles per hour is the absolute ceiling? Yeah.
I wouldn't say. Oh.
I would say. I would say at least for now, until I see further evidence, that I'm gonna hold it at 85. The absolute ceiling at that point, unless I see further evidence of something unexpectedly happening, which to some extent it kind of has, but we're not seeing a massive core of convection just yet. We're seeing convection bursts here and there that are sustaining, but we're not seeing a giant core of it just yet, which is when I would become more concerned with it, as well as a few other products I like to look at on a few other websites that I use.
There has been multiple questions upon the impact of the Carolinas, and what I want to say for the people that are asking for what might happen to North and South Carolina is that you guys will definitely be getting some impacts. I haven't looked at that much yet because the main focus is on Florida, but if I had to say, you guys should also be preparing for either landfall or some kind of tropical system getting near you, as that is definitely a possibility. The NHC shows it. A lot of models show it. I wouldn't be too surprised if we get some storm surge along South and North Carolina too. I think my own main concern, like Florida, would be flooding. So you should mainly go for that, but also make sure that you're prepared for winds. Some models are saying it could become quite powerful over the Gulf Stream.
Yeah.
We also got another question. Is it more vertically stacked? It has been vertically stacked for a while now. If there is an LLC, it's definitely on top the MLC. We don't see two separate circulations here.
Yeah, it's definitely looks like it. It's not like what we were initially seeing earlier down, where there was the possibility of a little bit of infighting. Now it looks like it's completely stacked, at least vertically, and it looks pretty healthy on satellite based off what we're seeing. I didn't really have time to look at the NHC Hurricane Hunters to see what was going on with it. But
I will give you something. They only went for the north side, which is not very good because most of the stuff was going south of Cuba.
Yeah, I can see why the Hurricane Hunters are doing that. They don't fly over Cuba.
I think for stuff like that, it's less. NOAA can go over Cuba if they really wanted to. But the United States
it's just political stuff.
Cannot do that.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine they decided to go for those rules right now, mainly because they thought the center was over land, which I kind of get, but I think they still should have checked out the southern lobe if they could.
Yeah, and it looks like the southern lobe quickly took over, it seems. So.
Yep, which is why now we're getting a more western shift with this.
Yeah. Okay, I got an interesting thing in the chat. The high pressure is actually stronger than expected, according to Kenny Brown.
I think he's getting this off the fact that it's trending west. If he did get this off the fact it's trending west, then that's not the reason. I mean, it could be a factor if it is stronger than normal, but the main reason why it's shifting west is because this thing is way more south than we were initially forecasting. We initially thought it would go north of Cuba through the Keys Strait and then go up. And then we thought it would crash into Cuba and form there. And now it's forming in the Cuban Strait.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the reason right there. Regardless, still a serious situation to take a look at, and still a pretty big situation to watch. But in the meantime, we're just waiting for more information, and we're waiting to kind of see what the NHC does at 11 p.m. Because I got another question about intensity models. What the intensity models are thinking right now. I'm gonna go ahead.
Don't look at those.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
Don't look at those.
What?
I'm going to say don't look at those right now.
All right.
It's pretty close to being a TC, but these models, I said this yesterday, and I said this all the time when Barrel was still O2L.
Yeah.
These models always assume that this thing is already a tropical cyclone with a low-level center. It isn't right now.
Yeah.
So this likely is... These models are likely stronger than they should be, and because of that, likely they take a slightly different track than they should be.
All right. Yeah. I know the initialization point off of some of them aren't fantastic either, because the initialization on some of them have it moving over Cuba, and we know it's further south of that now than it was previous.
The HWRF especially has had convection issues with its initialization.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we don't trust it.
Oh yeah, it definitely has. And yeah, just the initialization is really wonky on it. I'm looking at it right now on stream just to kind of tell them what you're talking about. And yeah, it's having a lot of problems with it, and just it's way too wobbly for my liking, to be honest. And also the track's shifted too far to the west for it to be really kind of hugging the coast of Southwest Florida anymore. But Southwest Florida definitely still going to get a lot of rain with this, no matter what. But it's just
totally.
Yeah, just something to pay attention to.
I think we'll see an intensity uptick from NHC on the next look, says W. Simmons.
I could see 70.
That if they go for the placement that we're seeing right now, then totally. It has more time over water. It's a more western track, and it's incredibly close to TC, which the NHC thought it would only do right as it went over waters from Cuba. So an intensity track is warranted. I don't know if the NHC will go with it yet. They have been, I wouldn't say they've been conservative with it so far, but they
No.
haven't been exactly outgoing so far. Why can't Louisiana get a storm? I don't know.
Just
It's not that time of a year yet.
high pressure system over there. That's why.
Yeah, I see it coming in hold on. It's this heart thing. I see it coming in south of Tampa, just a few miles north of it. Not too far up, though.
No.
I'd say that is less likely now, looking at this.
Yeah, if this was moving north of Cuba, I would agree with you. But because it's moving south of Cuba and it's kind of pulling away from the Cuban coast, at least for the time being, it's not. That's not going to be the case anymore. And this looks like it's going to be more of a Apalachicola Bay, Big Bend landfall at this current point.
Something like Idalia, but a tiny bit more west, I'd say.
Yeah, and hopefully not nearly as strong.
This is bringing Idalia vibes, not gonna lie. It is bringing Idalia vibes because it's doing practically the same exact thing.
The difference here is that Idalia started off the gyre and kind of hugged the Yucatan Peninsula for a little bit before starting to ramp up in intensity. This is hugging the coast of Cuba. So that's a little bit different, but I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can totally see why people are getting Idalia vibes from it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Did you say another guy was coming in a few minutes?
Yeah, he should be here shortly. Let's take a look. Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, hopefully he's ready soon, because I'd love to hear his take on all of this, and I'd love to hear his analysis on it. But in the meantime,
totally.
What's up?
I said, "Oh, totally."
Yeah. In the meantime, though, I am taking. In the meantime, though, I am gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take a look at. I want to go ahead and show you a few products I'm paying attention to, just to kind of give you an idea of what, kind of all the things I'm looking at in regards to this. First one I want to go ahead and show you is wind shear.
Oh, wait, that's someone.
Oh, there he is. There's Weather Kingdom. He's gonna have to unmute his mic for in a second, but whenever he's ready, hello, Weather Kingdom.
Hello.
Okay, his mic must be. Yeah, it's
slightly broken.
Yeah, just give him a second. Yeah, he'll tune it. He'll chime in when he's ready. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for him, one thing I'm paying attention to is the wind shear. Because this system developed into south of Cuba instead of either moving inland on the island or moving north of Cuba, it's now in much better wind shear. There is a small pocket of wind shear to its southwest, but I'm not sure how much of it is the storm itself or just actual wind shear. But regardless, it's moved into some better conditions for wind shear. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
There we go.
All right, Weather Kingdom, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. We have about 100 people in the stream right now. I wanted to get your overall analysis on potential tropical cyclone 4.
Basically, what I've seen since I've came home is it has what I said earlier in the chat, where I thought the low pressure was south of Cuba, and it seems like that has verified. Going to continue to move, I think, along until it's really going to depend on where the low-level center tracks over what part of Cuba. But this is a game changer with many things: track, strength, and I've noticed with the 18Z track guidance, it is much further west than this morning.
Have you seen the 0Z track guidance? I would take.
No, I haven't.
I would take a quick look at that. Yeah, it's in VC no mic. I would take a glance at that while you're doing that. Yoshi, go ahead.
While he does that, I'm gonna say something real quick.
Oh, sure.
M. Moon said, quote, "These things always love cutting into Florida last minute. Every true Floridian knows not to trust cones and spaghetti lines, lol." I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm gonna be honest. That is a bad stance to have on cones and spaghetti lines. They're not perfect, sure, and a lot of people base their opinions on these cones and spaghetti lines from the very first forecast, but they shouldn't do that, all right? You should adapt to said cones and spaghetti lines, and sometimes they can be wrong, but just because these cones and spaghetti lines have been wrong before, that means you shouldn't assume they'll be wrong now. Every storm is different.
Yep.
And technology has improved since most of the storms that have done such things, such as Charlie. It's been, 20 years now since Charlie, which was like the big thing that made Floridians, especially in Tampa Bay, go, you know what? I'm not going to trust these cones and spaghetti lines anymore. You know, technology has improved since then, and yeah, errors do still happen, but I think we should trust them, or at least try to trust them either way, and we should be prepared.
Yeah, and another thing I want to mention while you're at it is this southward shift was in the cone of uncertainty. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Yes, it was. I did see that.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night. It has had three options. It could stay just north of Cuba and be a weaker system but get offshore faster. It could stay over Cuba where we don't know what's going to happen with it, or it could move just south of Cuba and potentially show a stronger situation. It's doing the latter. And this was one of the possibilities that not only did we explore, but the NHC was looking at it as well. A bunch of other weather people were looking at it as well. Like, this was not out of the realm of reality. But regardless, it happened. We have to adapt to it. We have to pay close attention to it. We show these spaghetti models for a reason. We show them to you just so we can give you an idea of the track. And Yoshi's right on this. The track's not always perfect, but they've been getting better over the last 20 years since Charlie happened. Because what Charlie did was completely unexpected, and to be honest, for such a small system, it should have been one of the possibilities that would have happened, because small systems are notorious for turns like that. Instead of going to Tampa Bay, it instead went into Punta Gorda. Just wanted to make that very clear as we move on, and I wanted to go ahead and add on to that. But in the meantime, I'm done rambling.
We got three more comments, a couple of them questions. Zay said, could this be a Hurricane Katrina type event?
No.
For the actual storm, I'd say it's for the actual storm, like intensity-wise, it's not out of a question, but very unlikely. And for impacts, absolutely not. Not going to happen unless if we got like a Category 3 or 4 hopping into Tampa here, which is being a Category 3 or it hopping into Tampa. Either of those alone are very unlikely. Both things happening at the same time is very unlikely, and I would say that is out of the question.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of talk about your point a little bit about this being a Katrina, at least in terms of intensity. Katrina peaked at 175 miles per hour in the Gulf. I don't think that's
talking about like landfall Category 3.
Yeah,
when I was talking about that, I assumed Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking it. No, we're not seeing 175. Definitely not. With this time, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's unless this thing miraculously pulls an Otis out of its butt, this isn't going to happen. And I don't want to see that in this part of the ocean, because I already had to deal with it back in October, and I do not want to see it again. But with all that being with all that being said, though, the point is that we need to pay very close attention to it. I know someone was bringing the example. Look at Harvey. Yeah, Harvey definitely was an example of to expect the unexpected. Entered the Gulf as an open wave, rapidly organized and strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane before making landfall. However, while we do have to weigh the possibility of that happening, we also have to look at a bunch of other factors. how long is this going to stay over water? What kind of wind shear is this going to be battling? Which I was actually bringing up. There's not going to be much out there to stop this thing. And because it moved south of Cuba, it moved out of any possible wind shear that could have affected it in the short term. And now we're seeing a scenario where this thing could could finally jump the gun instead of maybe tomorrow morning, maybe overnight tonight. That's something that we need to consider now. And the last thing I will say before I turn it over to the both of you is that this is something that we're going to have to nowcast for the next 48 hours because the forecast models are so janky with it. The initialization is been really bad with them, like historically bad with this system. So we're going to have to nowcast it, which means we're going to have to watch satellite, which means we're going to have to watch what the outflow is doing, and we're going to have to watch how the environment reacts. So that's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you guys.
I actually was going to say something from the comments that I wanted y'all's opinions on. Daniel Cubbage said, if it gets stronger, it will be more likely to make a stronger easterly turn. Do you guys think that will happen under that circumstance? And if so, what's y'all's opinions about it?
Hurricanes do tend to wobble, but that a kind of shift more towards the east would have to depend on, that would be more so on if the steering currents collapse. Unless this thing explosively intensifies and loses control of its forward motion. So that would have to do with more or less steering currents, which, based on what we're seeing, they're strong enough to keep this west of the Florida coast, at least until it gets to the Big Bend, based off the recent guidance. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'd say that's quite likely to have a Big Bend landfall. Yeah. We also got, I was going to look at something else, but that conversation has already passed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before Beryl, Hurricane Agnes was regarded as storm of the century because it developed in June, just like Beryl. Agnes, wasn't that like 1985?
No, that was in the 60s, I think. Hurricane Agnes.
I thought that was a 1985 storm. My mother always talks about some storm from 1985 that came right near Pasco and Hernando County, then went off to Louisiana. I thought that was Angus.
That's interesting.
Angus was 72.
Yeah, no, that's a Cat 1 I was looking at. I was just looking up to see what you were talking about. Hold on, what year was? Agnes was 19. I don't know when exactly that was. So. But regardless, what most people consider the storm of a century, especially down here in Florida, would be the 1993 major winter storm, which wasn't a tropical system. Yeah,
but it might as well have been one for its effects. It might as well have been one. It had what was it, 4 or 5 feet of storm surge and almost hurricane level winds. It was insane. I've heard.
Yeah, they also had a lot of tornadoes, especially in the Panhandle.
Yeah. Daniel Cubbage, the guy who said it was that it could track east, that's what I'm talking about at the end, not now as it gets stronger. Could it hook more to the right? He's talking about an Idalia situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Moved east.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. A shift like that is plausible because what Idalia did, it kind of pulled a Michael almost, where what Michael did was it was moving north towards Panama City, which would have been absolutely horrendous regardless, and Panama City still got destroyed by it. But the eyewall then moved northeast at the last second and made landfall in Mexico Beach. Still horrific, but Panama City was got the western part of the eyewall, and it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. So yeah, something like Idalia pulled a kind of a Michael, and this system, if it strengthens fast enough, definitely could pull an Idalia in the last few hours, but too early to determine at this current point.
So about the earlier one, I think Index said, I think you mean Hurricane Elena. Looking at my thing with a turning storm. That sounds familiar. I'm going to look that up. I think it was Hurricane Elena 85.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
In the meantime, we will take questions in the chat right now. We can go ahead and answer that. Could the MJO moisten the Gulf enough to prevent dry air intrusions later on? The models are trending that the dry air will intrude the system west as it gets to the Gulf. The MJO is already doing that.
The MJO doesn't matter for tropical systems at this point, to be fair.
What the
Also, the Hurricane Elena guy was correct. It is that. Elena was 85. I said that.
All right, never mind.
Elena was 85.
Yeah. Well, regardless, thanks for clearing that up. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. If there is a center, it looks slightly west of the Cayman Islands, which is slightly south of 20 degrees. Cayman Brac. I'm noticing it too. It does seem like it might be there, but I would argue that it's a little bit further to the north of that, in that small burst of convection going on. It's more pronounced up there than it is further down to the south. Which, if that were the case, and it moved, and it was, and the center was instead of where this convection is towards Cayman Brac, that would not be very fantastic down the road. So
that would be really good.
Okay,
could this possibly do a northern push? It depends on what you mean by northern push. If you mean like right now, absolutely not. I think it's going like direct west. If you're talking about later, it's definitely forecasted to do that, and more than likely will.
Yeah.
How does the MJO not matter for tropical systems at this point? Because they have like their own area where everything is where it has air going up, which is what the MJO does. The favorable part of the MJO, makes it push air up, which is what you need for tropical development, for convection. It helps storms to do that. And once a tropical system has an LLC and all that, once it has convection, it already has its own part. I wouldn't say mini MJO, but that's like the best thing I could put it at.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of convection, I'm noticing some flare-ups on the eastern side of it over the Santiago de Cuba region of Cuba. If you guys are watching that, I mean, it could just be flare-ups there on the eastern side of it, but I'd still pay attention to it because that's going to be kind of interesting.
Flare-ups.
Yeah.
Land friction flare-ups, more than likely.
Yeah, that might be the thing that's going on with it. Regardless, though, the fact that this thing moved as far south as it did is raising some red flags for me, because
same.
Yeah, like Weather Kingdom. I'm sorry, you haven't really spoken too much while you've been here. Would you like to add on anything to this?
I would like to say the satellite imagery is for a wave or for a PTC. It's very well developed. I'm very good news is hasn't been any big convection around that center. Now we claim. So that will likely keep it from rapidly strengthening, because I know there's people now out there like this could become a Cat 3 before hitting Cuba or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't think that at all. I think this is going to potentially get to tropical storm status before making a landfall, but it all depends. But have you looked at the models yet?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I noticed with the 18Z Euro, it has trended stronger. So we're going to have to keep a watch on that.
Yeah.
Seems like all models now do forecast a hurricane down the road off the Carolinas.
Yeah, I've been noticing it too, but because I'm looking at it right now, Yeah, the initialization point on it isn't great.
Is off. Yeah.
It's off, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a little better than it was previously, but the initialization is off, so I'm kind of holding some reservations about taking it as gospel. At least for right
Yeah, I
now.
agree.
Just the initialization isn't fantastic on any of these models. So until the system actually develops, I'm not going to be using them. I'm not going to be using the models, at least to the extent I usually do. I usually like to show them like at the end of the video to kind of give a consensus of what the forecast models are talking about. But the one thing I will always say is you gotta take this with a grain of salt, because you don't know what's going to be happening. So, yeah. Thank you very much for that, Weather Kingdom. I appreciate the insight.
I do want to share quite an alarming forecast from ships.
Oh.
Ships is very it's a hurricane-specific model like HWRF, but it's more advanced.
Okay.
However, it does automatically assume that it is a TC. I would say it's close enough and a bit something where I would like to share it anyways.
Sure.
They have ships. The ships model has rapid intensification probabilities. And for 20 knots within 12 hours, they have a 5%. But what I'm seeing, possibly very worrying, is for 25 knots within 24 hours, which apparently does mean rapid intensification classification.
25
it
knots
has a 41% on that, and for 30 knots within 24 hours, it has a 26% on that. What is your opinions? For 55 knots within 48 hours has a 26%. So what are your opinions on this?
Could you please show that to me? Could you please send that in
yeah, sure.
Mic? Yeah, because I'd like to take a look at that data. And for those of you who don't know how much of an increase, 25 knots is about 28 miles per hour of an increase. We round that up to 30. 30, what was the next one? 30, okay, yeah, 25 knots, 30 knots. All right, we got that right here. 25 knots, that's an increase of 30 miles per hour in 24 hours. For 30 knots, that's an increase of 35 miles per hour. That has a 26% chance. 55 knots in 48 hours, that's 65 miles per hour in 48 hours. 26% chance.
Wow.
That's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm guessing
if we wake up.
Go ahead.
A lot of people have been saying this since yesterday, and I've been saying this for basically all of today. Rapid intensification is not out of a question. All right?
Yep. Yeah, it definitely isn't, especially after seeing all of this right here. And I can understand where this is coming from too, because you have low wind shear right here. You have relative humidity in the 60s at 700 to 500 millibars, which, for those of you who do not know, that is very moist for that part of the atmosphere. And the ocean heat content it's going to be sitting over is cracking 100 knots in a few areas. So I think that's what it's basing it off of. It's having the maximum sustained winds at this current point around, I'd say, 60 knots, around 55 to 60 knots, at least according to the official forecast. Max potential intensity, yeah, it's a bit off the charts, but we'll have to pay attention to it. But regardless, this is a whole new ball game than what we were seeing last night.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yep. What we were seeing last night was a cone of uncertainties. We were seeing a bunch of uncertainties regarding if this A was going to move north of Cuba and be a weaker system, B, move over Cuba and whatever happens, which it partly did, or C, move south of Cuba and be a stronger system in general and keep it further to the west of the Florida Peninsula and maybe head towards the Big Bend or Florida Panhandle. These models, these track models, have been kind of shifting back and forth based on all these scenarios. And now that we have a definite scenario, it's definitely going to be a interesting situation how this whole thing plays out. And this is why we're streaming tonight, because I wanted to get all the information we could out for you guys, and so you guys can stay informed. Would you guys like to add on?
We do have a tweet from 23 minutes ago by Ben Knoll, who is a very respected meteorologist from, I believe, the Colorado University.
All right.
Okay. He's in the Hudson Valley. Oh.
Yeah.
Either way, he was pretty respected. He says, quote, "Future Debbie will bring a tropical fire hose of moisture into Florida and the southeast. This only shows the rainfall forecast for early Tuesday, but if the storm becomes stalled over the Carolinas, over a foot of rain or more is not out of the question. Busy week ahead, and I will bring it over, and it's already here." Okay. Wait, no, I posted in the wrong channel.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, did you put it in there? Did you send it to us?
There we go. Okay, I'm sending it now. There we go.
Oh, that's the map for rainfall right there. That is interesting. The 18Z Euro for some of these areas in the Big Bend, and is Pinellas County in this is Pinellas County in this? Because if
Pinellas County, Pinellas County.
Yeah, that's
in the majority of this rainfall. I'm in it too. Holy crap!
Yeah,
okay.
10 inches of rain for that area right there. That's going to cause a lot of flash flooding. And at least for right now, that's the greatest threat for this. Then you have 4 to 6 inches for much of northern Florida, including Gainesville. Gainesville. And then for 2 to 4 inches for much of western Florida, maybe even into Miami a little bit. And then you have 1 to 2 inches further into the state. Regardless, Florida's going to get soaked from this. And
oh yeah, totally.
Yep.
Ben is one of the most respected specialists / meteorologists. Was also my daughter's professor. Oh, that's cool. I would love.
Yeah.
That's cool to meet him.
That's crazy. All right, can you please answer my question? Could you please answer the question about Boynton Beach, Florida? They're asking about impacts in Boynton Beach. Yoshi.
Okay, Boynton Beach. Where is that? Pull up a map of that. And I am gonna ask him to say, and I am gonna ask.
What
Tommy,
county is that in?
Yeah, what county is that in? And Tommy, I'm gonna say this right now. I've seen you do this throughout the chat. He has been a tiny bit aggressive concerning his question getting quote-unquote interrupted. Whatever.
I can understand the frustration a little bit because we need because he has been asking for a while and he has been waiting, but I do agree with you a little bit. But Boynton Beach, that's near West Palm Beach. It's not going to be nearly as bad as the western half of the state. Maybe 2 inches of rain in that area.
Yeah,
definitely some gusty winds, but we'll have to pay attention.
Palm Beach County is Boynton Beach? Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's in Palm Beach County. All right.
My daughter is a meteorologist, much smarter than her father.
Shout out to Greg for that. It's been pretty interesting. Okay, yeah. Rick Reed, I live in Gilchrist County in the Big Bend. I know it's very early, but does the wave in the Atlantic MDR have a chance of impacts in the Gulf? GFS shows 955 millibar landfall in Louisiana. That's going to be too far out. I'm going to entertain. I'm going to entertain this for a second, just to kind of take a look at this. This is 276 hours out. It's way too early to even be considering that. Could something happen? It's possible. And where this thing initiates, it looks like it moves into the Caribbean and starts organizing off the coast of Jamaica, which is pretty interesting. But by the time that happens, it's going to be about 6 days out. So I want to see some more runs first. I know I know the ensembles were picking up on this too. Now that you mention it,
I'm gonna look at something
Bring
here.
up the-
Red Taylor asked, "What are we thinking for West Orlando, West Edge, or Orange County?" For West Orlando, literally the only place I actually know where that is. For West Orlando, I'm gonna say you guys are definitely gonna get something like an inch or two of rain, I'd say, and maybe some gusty winds. But it's not like Disney World is gonna close type of thing or anything like that. No.
It's definitely not. But in the meantime, I was looking at the ensembles for the GFS, at least the ones that have come out so far. There is some ensemble support for this system in the main development region. It's going to be too early to tell, and we need more information before we make a conclusive statement.
Yeah, with that, you were right that the Atlantic is really going to start waking up in August. And I think a lot of us weather people really have put the alarm out there, and I think we are starting to see that unfold.
Absolutely. I mean, this is probably going to be what's going to kick it off, regardless of intensity. This is what's going to start it, and then things are going to continue to open up for business because the Sahel region, their monsoon season really ramped up over the span of the last few weeks. And I was talking about it in the channel, saying, hey, we got to watch this because this is going to generate tropical waves, and that's going to allow for more tropical systems to develop. So, yeah, that's what we're watching right now.
Can I just say something about the satellite?
Yeah.
The outflow on that is remarkable.
For a potential tropical cyclone, I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
To be honest, the structure really worries me. Like, it's really organized and quick.
Yeah, it's organized.
With the structure-wise.
At least structure-wise, yeah. We just need some more convection in the center, and we'll be open for business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that as nighttime continues to go on, we're going to definitely see some more convection starting to flare up in that area as the sun continues to go down. And right now we're in diurnal minimum. Yoshi, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
We're diurnal minimum for most of the system. Yeah.
Yeah, but diurnal max will be around sunrise, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's definitely going to be an increase, especially as we get into especially as it starts to do that in the later hours. So,
what? Oh,
let's go. What's up?
What worries me is if this gets in the Gulf, and I have seen the water temps. It's remarkable seeing 30 to 32 degrees Celsius and pretty good OCH, and seeing the low wind shear. Oh yeah, OC. Yeah, my bad.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
But seeing the conditions out ahead of it for the Gulf worries me a lot. Is we have seen storms in the past that has done very close tracks like this, and we've seen what they have become. And they rapidly intensify last second, so we're really going to have to watch this. And if tomorrow we are doing a live again, if this is already like a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, hopefully not, I doubt it. Yeah. We're really going to have to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
If that happens.
Okay. W. Simmons says that southerly shear will enhance the intensification. Hot water's moist air recipe for growth. Absolutely. What we're paying attention to. There is an outflow area over there that we're watching at this current point. I'm with you 100% on that, but it's going to have to get through Cuba before we see any real intensification. Nighttime convection, that's a great topic to quickly discuss. Yeah, I'm with you on that, so I'll quickly do that. What convection typically tends to do in the tropics is it's kind of the opposite of severe weather in the United States, where severe weather, you need a lot of heating to get the convection to fire up, and you need a forcing mechanism to help you with that for severe weather. In this case, tropical weather, it's better that you don't have the sun to warm up everything, because if we go ahead and show you the infrared, what we are showing you right here, this is the cloud top temperatures right here. Cloud top temperatures, they get pretty cold at times, And they need to, and if you want to see good convection, especially in the tropics, considering how high up these clouds go, you need cold clouds to do that. And the sun kind of limits that to some extent because of solar radiation. And now that the sun has set in this part of the ocean right here, this part of the Caribbean Sea, you're starting to see more convection flare-ups. And if you guys are noticing this, we're seeing 2 more convection flare-ups to the west of the center of circulation, if you guys are watching it. It's small right now, but it's starting to really ramp up. You guys, if you guys are watching it. Okay.
I think something happened.
Yeah,
I
something
don't hear
probably
you on the
happened.
stream.
Yeah, okay.
First, I didn't hear you
All
on
right,
this
that's
one. I was
fine.
like, oh crap, I disconnected. And then I looked on the stream and I was like, oh crap, something's happening.
Yeah, I was noticing, there's some convection firing up to the west of the system, at least the west of the circulation of it. It's small right now, but it's growing pretty rapidly. And it's been firing up for the last 30 minutes. And we're also seeing another flare up further to the west of that. So, yeah, if you can hear me, what are you paying attention to it?
Yeah, I am. I'm looking at all of this right now.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, okay, all right. People need to be worried?
Everyone left.
Yeah.
Everyone left. Oh, there's
There's Weather
King.
Kingdom. Hey, you disconnected for a second.
Yeah, it disconnected me, but I joined back.
All right,
My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Glad you're back here. So we were kind of talking about the convection starting to flare up on the western part of the potential tropical cyclone. If you've been noticing that.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Yeah.
I think the convection's gonna gradually explode, and I'm really worried about this. Just seeing it from my eyes and looking at the satellite and everything.
Yeah.
It's a very big concern. It's a bit concerning.
Yeah. Yeah.
What storm went through? Okay, there was a storm, I think a year or two ago, that went south of Cuba. Which storm was that? Dahlia?
South of Cuba?
South.
It rode south. It rode between Jamaica, but more north than Jamaica, and it rode right through the southern part of Cuba. And we were expecting it to, I think, go north.
I think that was a Dahlia.
No, that wasn't a Dahlia. I know what he's talking about.
No.
Are you talking about Laura?
Maybe,
Oh,
Laura. Probably.
Yeah, because that's what Laura did. But that was expected to enter the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did enter the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, it did.
I have a question for Greg over here. Greg, Swen,
all right.
I've lost my words. Holy crap!
Yeah,
I lost my words.
Take your time.
But Greg, have you been learning some meteorological lessons from your daughter? You seem quite knowledgeable about this.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Weather Kingdom. Then we have a question in the chat.
So for Glenn, I cannot see your last name, but you say, please go to. Do we need to be worried about Georgetown, South Carolina? I would say, really watch this, but most likely because this has a chance to come off the coast, and this could stall right offshore or right along the shore, and this could strengthen pretty quickly.
Okay, Georgetown is close to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, you need to be paying attention to this.
Yep.
Yeah, there's going to be some flash flooding possibilities over there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, I have a question. How often do major Cat 3 hurricanes directly impact the New York City area? I don't know how that's exactly relevant to the situation at hand, but yeah, it's not happened really in a while. But in the meantime, okay, what's the next? One. Do you wonder if the NHC at 11 p.m. advisory is going to find a new center south of Cuba and issue a new track, or will that happen at 5 a.m.? They issue the track every 6 hours, and the next one's going to be in less than an hour at this current point in time.
I am very curious for the National Hurricane Center update.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think there's enough evidence right now for them to go for it, for them to call this a tropical depression. But we're close. We're closer than I think a lot of people think we are right now. Just the convection isn't quite there. This circulation definitely could be there. Just the core isn't quite developed yet. But I have a feeling because it's moved over the Caribbean Sea, where there's 30 degrees of warm water, 30 degrees Celsius of warm water, 86 degrees Fahrenheit at least, that could develop very quickly. That could rapidly escalate. Not in the terms of this thing intensifying, but in terms of this thing organizing. So we'll have to keep keep tabs on that. But any other thoughts?
Not really. I think we kind of discussed a lot about this.
Yeah.
We might have to look at some of them. Have you? Oh wait, I know you're not looking at the models really.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell about the full strength to this, but I do think the track is coming more true as hour goes on.
Yeah. Okay, we got something in chat. Looks like the most recent satellite imageries, the center of low pressure looks even lower than I thought. I wouldn't be surprised if this system continues to move the spaghetti models westward. Concerning. Yeah, it's definitely... I'm not sure if this is further south than anticipated at this current point, but it's definitely... I mean, at least further south than it already is, but at this current point, it kind of is moving west-northwestward at this current point, and it kind of took a bit of a dive to the south. And, well, not dive to the south in the terms of it literally went south, but it changed directions for a long enough time. It moved due west instead of west-northwest, that now it's over the Caribbean Sea, and just kind of doing it in that kind of sense. I know what I said probably didn't make too much sense, and it was kind of a bit of rambling, but that's kind of how I'm thinking right now in regards to this. But, yeah... I think the NHC might shift the track a little bit more to the west. Not very much initially. Not very much. But it's going to be subtle. It's going to be enough for us to notice, but it's not going to be enough for us to say, oh, this caught us completely off guard. So, yeah.
By satellite.
Greg does say that his opinion is that they should wait until they do another recon launch.
Yeah.
Until they change anything. And honestly, I get a statement on why we can't have an exact of anything until we get recons, so that models will be better. But we can't exactly do it until this thing gets north of Cuba, quite sadly.
Yeah. Just, there's a lot of stuff going on. And...
You guys...
What's up?
What I'm noticing something. Do you on tropical tibbets? They have what is it? Mesosectors. That does like mesoscale. Do you mind if you brought that up? I'm noticing some new convection trying to develop closer to the center.
Yeah, I'm noticing it too.
I think there's convection right on the center already.
There is.
Oh, there is? Wait.
Yeah, it's been there. I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, I know
of the stream.
I know it's been there. It's just there needs to be stuff firing off around it. That's the thing. And
it looks like it's about to.
Yeah, I'm noticing
it's
a
like,
little bit of a flare-up to the south of it as well. Just, guys, subtle details like this is what we're watching for, because I'm not sure you're watching the stream and going, Patrick, why are you looking at small details right now and not answering our questions while we're typing in the chat? Subtle details.
Because the subtle things are important.
Yep, the small
Right.
things are what make this thing go off. So
Yes.
yeah.
I've seen it time and time again over the years with the Atlantic.
Yeah.
With the little detail becoming the biggest details later on.
Yep, exactly. Subtle details now can mean very big details down the road. All right, with the Gulf of Mexico so warm, the Atlantic being so warm, African waves coming off can bring really bad hurricanes to the Gulf states, especially this year, yes. Because what we're seeing now is we're not seeing the El Nino we were seeing last year that was pushing everything out to sea. Now we're in a negative neutral phase right now. That's helped strengthen the steering currents and allow for this, and it's allowing for these systems to push further west towards land. So that's kind of the main difference right there. We're no longer in an El Nino. So yeah. In the meantime, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would really help us out and get more people engaged with weather. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to type them into the chat as we continue to watch this and as we wait for the NHC advisory. So,
are we waiting on that, right?
Yeah, we're waiting on it. It's probably going to be issued in about 30 minutes or so. Yeah, mainly because they probably are going to be doing a new track on it. They're probably going to be waiting for some more information. They're probably not going to jump the gun just yet because there's due to a lack of information. But I do think it's going to happen either. I do think it's going to happen some point in the next 12 hours. At this current point.
Oh, Tommy's saying you're freezing. Can someone check that?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think I know what's going. I'm taking a look at that. My frame rate might be. My frame rate might be having some issues at the current point. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. We're working on it behind the scenes, but yeah, the frame rate might be going down a little bit. So I do apologize for that. In the meantime, for those who are still left, I'd be more than appreciated to answer. Excuse me, I'm losing my words for a second. We've had a lot of that tonight. Okay, okay. Oh my God. All right, am I back? What the heck? Okay, am I here? Here? All right.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, I just disconnected for a good second. Okay. Okay, I lost my train of thought for a second. So we were okay. All right. Yeah, we were talking about the frame rate a little bit, and then we were getting back to this system for a second. What do you guys have any additional thoughts on this?
No, wait.
What's up?
Wait, Greg. All right, he said something. Maybe one day I'll join you guys and everyone can hear my opinion from me typing 100 times. Greg, I'm going to say this right now. I don't know if you have Discord, something called Discord. If you do, you can join, but I'll give you the link.
Yeah, it's literally in the pinned chat thing above if you want to give your take on this, because we'd love to hear that if you have Discord. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that out there, and that goes for everyone. If you want to call in and give us some thoughts, or even ask us some questions live, like that's live through the VC we have at Storms United. Join that link. There's a link up there where we can do that for you. So be sure to join the Discord server. Link to that's right there, and we'd be happy to have you come in, either give some analysis, answer some questions for you, just so that way we can get you guys more engaged with weather. But okay, all right. We have another question. Is there a possibility that this tropical depression could intensify into a tropical storm that could then impact Florida and then move its way northward towards New York City? It's going to be moving east of there at that current point, but right now the main focus is Florida and the Carolinas.
That is way too far out, and I know why he's saying is the GFS showing a much closer track, but that is just way too far out. But just keep an eye on it if you're just along the whole East Coast. Even for Nova Scotia.
Yep.
Because eventually it will go down there, and it probably will bring some impacts.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for answering that. Can I download it? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can download. You can download Discord.
Can I say, I know we
Sure.
haven't really looked at anything, but I like to look at sometimes the mesoscale, models, like the NAM. I mean, position's really off on it.
I don't like using the meso models too much because they tend to overdo it. Sometimes.
Yeah, I was looking at the NAM.
Guys,
Oh.
this is unconfirmed right now. AL 04 2024 08 300 best at 0210 north 251010 TD.
What?
I can't confirm this, but apparently
Can
we
you
do
send
have
it in
tropical
chat?
depression 4.
Oh.
Can you send it in chat?
Please
Yeah.
send that.
Yeah, I will.
Please do. That's a big development.
If that is
Wow.
a depression, then I can see why if they
It
did,
is
because
unconfirmed. I am going to confirm it in 2 minutes, but someone sent that to me.
where are you sending that at?
Yeah,
In-
VC no mic.
Okay,
VC no mic. It should be there in just a second
I
because
see it.
if that's true, if this verifies, then
We're in trouble.
well, yeah, I was about to
Proceed.
say we
Down the road.
remember how I said earlier we're having
Okay, we
completely
got more trusted sources saying this. I believe it's true.
Okay, do we have any big people talking about that? Like big sources? Because if that's
Not
the case,
yet, but
wait.
I do have multiple of my sources saying this. So
Okay.
I do
Where are
believe
you
it is
getting it?
true.
All right, if you could send some more in there. Where can I
already
find these
have
numbers
sent
right
the
here?
line.
Where can I find these right here?
That's my question.
Yeah, Yoshi, where can I find this right here so I can show it to our audience? Because, ladies and gentlemen,
Someone sent it to me.
all right,
I'm gonna try to see. We should have it on ATCF in just a few moments.
ATCF.
Actually,
All right,
check that site. I'm pretty sure that's where we got it. Either that or something similar.
all right. That's ATCF.
I can see this.
What's up?
I said I can see it being a tropical depression. In the mesoscale, I'm seeing quite a bit more convection trying to wrap around that center.
Right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
there's
noticing
definitely
it too.
quite a bit of blowout.
Yeah, you're starting
And
to
you
I'm
see.
know,
asking
also,
my-
wait,
I'm asking my source to link via the original. He said
Please,
ATCF.
yes, please do.
the southern
I
side
am
and
I
eastern
am
side.
making sure it's real.
Yeah.
Southern side and eastern side is
All right.
developing with quite a bit
Yeah.
of convection.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very big development going on. So be sure you like the stream and subscribe to the channel because we may have some breaking news in the next 25 minutes. As there is
I can see it.
there is some unconfirmed reports of this being a tropical depression right now, and we are getting some confirmation at this current point. And we will be waiting for the NHC to make that call because if they do make the call that this is a tropical depression, I said earlier this was already a whole new ball game. Well, let's just say this thing hit a home run and it would have been a grand slam. It just hit the ball off the bat. Question is, does it go the distance? So we'll have to see what happens. But Yoshi is contacting a source. We're going to get more information out. So
The water temps, though. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
The latest 18Z. Oh, wait, no, that's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Tommy, I understand your complaints. Part of it's the frame rate's been dropping a little bit. Part of it's the internet. I've had that's going on right now, so I apologize for that. So, all right, yeah, Daniel Rivera. This changes the ball game considerably. Yes, it does, Daniel.
I think this
absolutely
changed the ball game
What?
once it moved south. I think this changed the ball game once it moved south of
Yeah,
Cuba.
but this
It was a
thing,
whole new ball
yeah,
game.
but this thing might have just hit a grand slam.
It could have.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are
I know.
you
I know. I talk in baseball terms a lot, but
Yeah, I was about to ask you on that. Do you watch baseball?
oh yeah, I'm a huge baseball
Off
fan.
topic.
Yeah,
Who do you like?
yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my team right there. But regardless, we may have a may have a very serious situation about to unfold.
Actually, I'm seeing this in our tropical weather discussion chat too. People are talking about it.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Go to that chat discussion.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Tropical.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not just him.
Yeah, Tyler's posted something. All right, I'm gonna ask him where he got the link for the link to that.
Yeah, someone sent me a link, but I don't know how to navigate this. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I know Tyler sent it in there. So, yeah, we're seeing some reports, not just from here, but we're also seeing it in our tropical chat. Like, we're having some people working behind the scenes at Storms United looking at this, and holy crap, it's going to be interesting.
There's a link now. I'm looking at it. I'm very confused how this works.
Yeah, Tommy, I know it's on my end. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah, it's in like what 30 Celsius now. Yes, it is. All right.
It just concerns me what we're seeing unfold.
Yeah, Greg. My daughter says she can't confirm it on her computer with the NWS still showing it PTC, but updates every 15 minutes. We can go. I'm gonna go ahead and send you as soon as. Okay. All right.
Don't we have like NWS chat?
I don't think we do here.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping someone would have secret access to NWS chat, since they're likely talking about it over there. Yeah. Okay, they said it's not on here. Womp womp. Okay, I'm gonna look through the other link I got then, since I did get multiple.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, this storm is about to get ugly up by Pensacola, far west of it. It's probably not going to go that far west at this current point.
Wow, the convection.
Are we seeing another flare-up?
I mean, same flare-ups, but it's definitely flaring up in the mesoscale satellite.
Yeah, it is. What mesoscale satellite are you looking at?
Tropical Tibbets.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
It's the meso sector.
Yeah, like that's mesoscale models though.
It is confirmed.
It is?
Really?
It is confirmed. We do have Tropical Depression 4 as of RAMMBTC real time, which is official.
Where's this coming from?
Where's that? Could you show that to us?
I have a link.
Perfect.
Let me post it.
All right. And also, after you send it to VC No Mike, send it to Tropical Discussion so that way we can lock it in. But okay, what do we have? What's up?
I'm looking at it right now. Yep.
It is Tropical Depression 4.
Tropical Depression 4.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. It is 10:29 p.m. The NHC still needs to update it, but we preliminarily have Tropical Depression 4 on stream, which was completely unexpected. That's completely unexpected. The last time we streamed like this was when Beryl became a Cat 5 hurricane. So when we see breaking news...
the news at 10:18, so it's been a tropical cyclone since at most 10:18.
Yep.
At least 10:18.
Yep. Things are about to get pretty interesting over the next 48 hours now.
I will say, if this was over Cuba right now, riding the Cuba coast, we wouldn't even be talking about.
I completely agree with that. Absolutely.
So it's concerning that we're already talking about a tropical depression even before the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. Greg has been talking with his meteorologist daughter, and she's also confirmed that it is indeed TD4.
Yep. It has been confirmed, but the NHC will be updating it. I'm going to check NHC. I'm going to check Twitter and see if the NHC has put something up for that, because usually they will say we will start issuing advisories for, for tropical.
If you want something like that, check the NHC site first. They usually put a red bar up before they have a tweet, I think.
Where at? Is it on the homepage?
The NHC website. They don't have it yet, but it will tell you, and I think
It'll tell you before.
Yeah, it
I know
goes
what you're talking
NHC website, then a tweet.
All right. Okay. I just know sometimes they say we will start issuing advisories for blank at blank time. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, remember the NWS is a part of FEMA, including NHC and NOAA. Yep, it is. So yeah, we're getting some new people joining into the stream. If you would, if you could please be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would really help us out as we are getting this breaking news out for you right now. But holy heck, we were not expecting to see this tonight. There were signs that something could happen. You never knew. There was always that 1% that it could happen, but we never expected to see this on stream tonight. It's kind of unexpected. Yeah. Okay, let me check something very quickly. Yeah. I know Weather Center Nazario is off stream right now, but I'm going to tell him and David what's going on.
David Southour?
Yeah.
I think David's alive. Is he?
He's not live. No, he's not. He was earlier, but
David?
He's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Weather Center Nazario was streaming it earlier. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Weather Kingdom, your latest video, PTC4 soon to become a tropical storm Debbie. It's one step closer. It's one step closer now, but we just gotta wait. I'm guessing it's gonna be a 30-mile-per-hour tropical storm. No, not tropical storm, tropical depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Okay. Yeah, 25 knots. So, yeah, that
concerns me, though. I've seen it time and time again. Things like this, and then the days continue, and these storms just get worse and worse.
Yep.
And it outperforms, like, nearly every time, I feel like we lately have been, since, like, 2020, really been talking about overperforming storms.
Not really. I would argue 2017, since 2017.
2017, yeah. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a busy year. I mean, we didn't have a 2005 exactly, but what is it? The way these storms developed and where they went.
Yeah.
Was a lot different than 2020.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Impacts. What impacts come here in Ocala, Florida? Hey, Yoshi, do you know where Ocala is?
Ocala? I'd say it's somewhere in the southeast central part of Florida. I'd say they should prepare for winds and
yeah,
especially flooding, though.
Yeah, flooding would be the
That's what I'm going to say for the entirety of Florida. Anyone in Florida?
Yeah, it's in North Florida. It's in North Florida where Ocala is.
Okay. And
hey, if I can ask, has anyone looked at the Saharan dust out in the Atlantic since this wave has went through? Like, is there a lot of Saharan dust?
There is still some Sahara dust.
I've mentioned this earlier in the stream, that it shouldn't have much of a bad time with Saharan dust. It's already taken it out. Anything that tries to go in.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's been out
so cold. What worries me is.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. This.
All right. Wow. Yeah, we're getting questions about Tampa. Tampa, you need to be preparing for predominantly flash flooding and also some winds with this. We don't at this time. We do not see much evidence, at least over the last few hours, of a direct impact in your area. And when I mean direct impact, I mean like getting into the core of the system. So that's what we're looking at.
May I say something about?
Yeah, sure. Just give
the next wave.
Go ahead.
I'm looking actually at the Saharan dust right now, and you know that new wave that the GFS and some of the Asamos have been showing that enters the Caribbean. I will say it has less Saharan dust.
I want to interrupt this since we do have some breaking news.
Okay.
Anyone in chat, anyone listening to this, if you're in one of these two counties, if you are in Citrus County or Levy County, you have an evacuation order in effect. Please follow that order, and if you're able to, evacuate out of Florida.
Is this a voluntary or mandatory
order.
evacuation?
I believe it is a recommended one.
All right. Yep. For those tuning in from Levi County and what was the other one? Citrus and
Levy.
You are now under an evacuation. You are now under an evacuation order. I believe either voluntary or mandatory. Regardless,
It's voluntary. I believe they wouldn't do a mandatory for something like this.
You now have a voluntary evacuation. Please listen to local officials, and if you are able to on the coast, start preparing for this system to arrive and evacuate when you are asked to leave. It is very important. They are doing this for your safety, and we will. And when it comes to evacuation orders, we on the Pat's Path Predictor channel always defer to local officials.
Yeah, Sean Zane said you do not need to evacuate. That is really bad thinking.
Well, I mean,
if someone says that you should probably evacuate, they're probably right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay. I got some more questions in here. All right. We'll start with Charles over here. With the shift west, what do you feel the impacts will be for Tampa Bay, particularly Pinellas County beaches? Tampa Bay is very flood prone. Yes, I am very well aware of that. I've been keeping close tabs on that aspect to it at this current point in time. However, it doesn't look like you're going to get a quote unquote direct impact, which what I mean by that is, you're not going to see like you get yourself getting the core of it, but you're definitely now going to see some storm surge, especially in Pinellas County beaches. There is some storm surge expected with this. We can go ahead and show you the graphics right here and pull it up.
I have another question, by the way.
I found the official order for evacuation from, I believe, Citrus County. Administrative order announcing voluntary evacuation and ordering the opening of public shelters. So if you cannot evacuate, if you're in Levy County or Citrus County, and if you cannot evacuate, go in a public shelter. Whereas on August 1st, 2024, Governor Ron DeSantis issued Executive Order number 24156. The governor's order, which pretty much is the state of emergency order for this thing, announces voluntary evacuation to commence immediately, to be completed by 8 p.m. on Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, of people residing in recreational vehicle parks throughout the county, and to the maximum extent possible, the recreational vehicles shall be removed from the county. Mobile homes and weak manufactured homes, coastal communities in the county and low-lying areas especially. If you're in one of those, either evacuate or go inland into a public shelter by tomorrow. I know it's late at night and you probably have to pack your stuff up, so I'd recommend packing your stuff up tonight, getting ready, getting your house ready, and then evacuating early tomorrow.
Yeah, what I would say for now in regards to that as well is follow your preparedness plan and defer to local officials. That's what we always advocate for here. If they are recommending an evacuation, that means they are taking this very seriously, and you should probably do that at some point before this system arrives. But all right, what's up? Go ahead.
There's a very good question from Scene Zane.
Yeah.
How did Debbie shift from north of Cuba to south Cuba?
A subtle shift in the track. What ended up happening was before it was moving west-northwest. For about, I'd say, 4 hours, it shifted and jogged to the west. Subtle
and I think the land interaction messed it up.
Yeah. Subtle directions changes like that, especially over a greater Antilles island like Cuba, which, mind you, is pretty long but pretty thin in comparison. That makes all the difference, and that's why we are talking about a tropical depression tonight. Okay, that's kind of the short answer for that. Anyway, we'll take some more questions right now, as we are getting almost 130 people in the stream right now.
By the
Orbits,
way,
edits. Oh,
Oh,
you can go.
you know.
oh, this is like the Canada meme. Anyway,
It's a freeway lock.
Yeah.
How about whatever kingdom you go first, and then Pat, then me.
all right.
Okay. From orbit edits, can we consider a possible wind speed ceiling change? Yeah, I would say probably about 5-10 miles an hour from
Of an
previous
increase.
thinking.
Yeah, I want to be very careful with that.
Yes,
Because-
I agree.
Yeah, because before we were saying
Yeah.
85.
Oh,
I want to
okay,
be
did not
very
see that.
careful with that, because yes,
I
this
did
thing
not
is
know
now a
that.
tropical depression, but this thing still needs. We still have a lot of uncertainty regards to this. For now, I think we should hold it at 85 just to play it safe.
Yeah.
Predominantly because, yes, this wasn't supposed to happen, but we don't know what will happen once this comes off of Cuba. That's the
Convection
thing.
continues to fire up.
Yeah, we're noticing
By the
that
way.
across a lot of these areas. But anyway,
That's concerning.
yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and ask the next question. Answer the next question right now. Okay. What else do we have? All right. I'm just looking through the chat for questions. Pierce asks, how much rain could Southeast Florida get? Palm Beach County. We're looking at 2 inches of rain right now, give or take. Some. What do you guys think? Did I- oh, okay.
Wait, what did you say? I was not
About 2
listening.
inches of rain for Palm Beach County.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Yeah, Yoshi. What are your,
With the latest,
Go-
the latest track, I mean, definitely if it moves further west, it's going to be less rain along the coast
Yeah.
of the eastern Florida. Where I'm very concerned about the rain is if this stalls off the Carolinas.
Yep. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Next. All right. Yoshi, are you there?
Yes, I am looking at some counties' evacuations to see if they have evacuation orders.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Okay.
You think Collier County could see tropical storm conditions?
Collier
Southwest
County
Florida
is
storm?
under a tropical storm warning, so it's very
Yeah.
possible.
All right. I do want to say, anyone in Hernando County, they do have sandbag locations open as of 10 a.m. on Friday of August 2nd. If you want to look for free sandbags, you should go to Linda Pernson Park in Spring Hill, Anderson Snow Park in Spring Hill, Ridge Manor Community Center in Ridge Manor.
Oh yeah.
So that's it for Florida. I'll look at other counties.
Oh yeah. I know. Oh yeah. I know who's asking that. That's T-Volt. Yeah. Hi T-Volt. I'm glad you're watching the stream and I'm glad you're enjoying it. But anyway, while you're looking at that, Orlando impacts. That's Orange County. We were talking about it earlier. It looks like you guys could get some tropical storm force winds if this thing makes landfall over the Big Bend. That's what we're thinking. That's what we're looking at right now. We'll have to pay attention to that. Let's see. Could the Gulf crack 32 degrees Celsius in early September? Seems like if these are 3+ degree anomalies, in some areas it's possible, but but we're gonna have to wait and see in regards to that.
Hey, Pat, I have a question.
Sure.
I know you post these in your videos, but the graph for the water temps, how's that going? Has we hit the peak yet
No.
on the worst year
No. This is
with waters?
no. For those who watch my videos, this is the chart that Weather Kingdom is referring to, the climate reanalyzer. Where we're at right now, this thing is at 24.9 degrees Celsius across the Atlantic. That's almost 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Where we were last year was 25 degrees Celsius at this point. So this is only
It
a
leveled
1/10
out,
of
too.
Yeah, and this leveled
Last
out
year.
too. And the water this year is still moving surging pretty linearly. So we'll have to see what happens. But if this continues at a linear track, even for the next couple of days, this could outperform last year's. But we'll have
And
to
last year was the warmest waters, correct?
on record.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's another thing. These
Yeah.
waters are getting warmer every year.
Yeah. Could we see tropical storm conditions in Volusia County? Volusia, I believe, is on the east coast of Florida. Volusia. Yoshi, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Volusia is that generally east of Orlando? Around that region, or is that further
Volusia,
south?
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I know.
I'd have to look
It's
that
either
up.
that or it's on the Space Coast. I'm not 100% sure.
When is the next recon? Does anyone know that?
I can check. I can check right now. My mic. Yeah, can you guys hear me? My mic's back on. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So here's what we have. Oh, we have some flights going in. We have one flight going into the Invest. According to this, this is August 3rd, so that's tomorrow at 16Z, which is noon Eastern time. Flight 2. Flight 2 is flying into the cyclone August 3rd at around that's around 4:30. It's around 4:30 p.m. It looks like the earliest is around noon Eastern time, so that's when we'll kind of have an idea. Oh, Volusia County is where Daytona Beach is. That's northeast of Orlando. Yeah, Volusia County could see some tropical storm conditions with this. Oh yeah, we're getting.
Will this grow into a hurricane by the morning?
No,
No, it won't.
It's
Duh.
too
No.
close to shore for that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's too close
Any
to shore.
tropical storm, any tropical storm conditions for St. Lucie County?
Saint Lucia.
Yeah, Zachary Berger said that in the chat.
All right, I'm taking a St. Does he mean St. Lucie?
Yeah, St. Lucie, my bad.
Yeah, St. Lucie is probably not at this current point.
I just moved east or west.
Yeah, it's moved further west, at least track-wise.
Yeah, west.
Yeah, in the meantime, we are waiting for the next public advisory. We have confirmation that this thing is unofficially a tropical depression. However, we are still waiting for things to ramp up. We can go ahead and pull that. Up for you right here. So, yeah. Okay, never mind. This is not the right thing. Let's see. It was in VC. No mic. All right, here it is. Yeah, this is what we were looking at right here. Tropical Depression 4. This is what we're looking at. This was the regional mesoscale meteorology branch. It's pretty much been confirmed by everyone except the National Hurricane Center, who is going to be putting out a public advisory in the next few minutes. So be sure to stay tuned for that, as well as our analysis of the situation, and be sure to like the video and subscribe, like the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would really help us out and get more people engaged with weather. We're almost at 140 concurrent viewers, which is absolutely incredible. So if you guys could share the stream for me with a friend, with some family members, I would very much appreciate that as we talk about the breaking news coming up and we kind of give a deep dive analysis on this. So if you guys could do that would be much appreciated. Yeah.
And for anyone that wants my information on this, I did post a video tonight.
Yes, you did.
Check that out.
Yep, Weather Kingdom's channel is in the chat right now, so be sure you go subscribe to him. He does weather content. As well, where he gives his own analysis, and he's been helping out here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel, so it would be much appreciated. How is this going to be in Columbia, South Carolina? Columbia is a bit inland. You could see some rain from this, but you're not going to see too many impacts outside of like maybe a few outer bands in Columbia. So. That's what we're looking at. Is the storm moving north now? No, it's okay. And we have someone who posted in chat. Yep, Tropical Depression 4, ladies and gentlemen, from the National Hurricane Center. I know I'm a little loud. I'm sorry.
Yep, we do. Yep. You are completely
ladies and
correct.
gentlemen, maximum sustained winds.
Tropical Depression 4.
Yep, they have found that this is a closed low. This thing has officially crawled. Now it's got to walk.
The new update is now showing.
Yep, it is
70 miles an hour as the max peak.
Yep, that's kind of what I was expecting. That's in. Well, keep in mind that's inland.
Advisory number 3.
Yep, keep in mind this is inland though, so it could be a little stronger.
The discussion's out too, by the way.
Yep, I'm watching it. I'm seeing it.
I want to see that.
Yep. I'm watching the. Okay, here's what we have. Shortwave infrared satellite imagery, Cuban radar data, and surface observations from Cuba and the Cayman Islands suggest that the disturbance has developed a closed circulation, and the center is located just off the south coast of Cuba. Deep convection is still a bit fragmented, but there has been a persistent burst near this estimated center since earlier this afternoon. The wind and pressure field could still be a little elongated within the within the southern semicircle, but overall the system appears to have enough organization to be designated as a tropical depression. The initial intensity remains 25 knots based on earlier observations. The depression has not began to turn yet. I repeat, the depression has not began to turn yet, with the initial motion west-northwestward at 285 degrees west-northwest at 15 knots. So this thing has picked up a little bit of speed at 17 miles per hour. A turn toward the northwest and then north is expected over the weekend due to a break in the subtropical ridge caused by a trough over the eastern United States. Since the system has not started to turn yet, this has caused all tropical guides to shift west, and an updated NHC forecast is a bit west of the previous forecast along the eastern edge of the main cluster of the models. It is important to note that because the forecast track is being parallel to the west coast of Florida, the location and timing of potential landfall cannot be pinned down at this time. One additional significant change to the forecast is that models can be seen by showing the aforementioned trough leaving the cyclone behind early next week, which causes a much slower motion while the system nears the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. As a result, the new NHC forecast is notably slower than the previous forecast, particularly on days 4 and 5. The westward shift of the track also keeps the system over the warm waters and the Gulf of Mexico longer, giving the system additional time to potentially strengthen. In fact, the ship's guidance and all the regional hurricane models show the cyclone reaching hurricane strength before reaching land in the Big Bend region of Florida in 2 to 3 days. As a result, the new NHC forecast brings the intensity to 60 knots at 60 hours as the system is reaching land, but if model trends continue, it's possible that future forecasts could explicitly show the system becoming a hurricane before it reaches land. The intensity forecast is more uncertain on days 3 to 5 depending on if the center moves back offshore or stays inland in the southeastern United States. Thoughts from both of you?
I have a thought on that. With you saying it's still moving west-northwest.
Yeah.
And with it picking up about 17 now miles an hour.
Yep.
The more west-northwest it goes with that speed, the track could even move further by tomorrow morning. This could go over the shortest part of the Cuba land.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will say. If it continues to move west-northwest.
Yep. Yeah. That's interesting. They really have this shift. They really have this starting to slow, move very slow as it approaches Georgia and South Carolina. Yoshi, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I won't be on for the next 5 minutes. I'm making my new documentation and forecasting.
That's fine. I'm just asking you because just for thoughts about. But yeah, this is
for this being Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for the next few days. Wow.
24 hours, and it doesn't even move that much. That's probably moving like 3-5 miles an hour
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah. What's most significant for me right now is the turn has not started yet.
I agree.
That's
because
concerning.
that could really change the ball game.
Yeah, and the fact that this thing is moving faster now, it's 17 miles per hour. That's concerning as well because that can push over Cuba much faster. Now,
it can go over the loop current that you keep mentioning.
It's right now. If this holds, it's clipping the eastern portion of it. So, yeah, what a night for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We now have Tropical Depression 4 over in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Cuba. Had this thing moved north or through Cuba, we would not be talking about this now. But took a shift towards the Caribbean Sea, and now here we go. This is going to be a very interesting next 48 hours, at least. And, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing a lot of new people in the stream. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us get more streams out like this. It would be much appreciated if you did that. Regardless, though, the fact we're seeing all of this unfolding tonight is pretty insane because we were saying earlier that this might not jump the gun. Well, the NHC decided to go for it, and I will say credit to the Cubans for presenting that radar data for us to take a look at because without that, we probably would not have designated this. So we have to give credit where credit is due sometimes. So. Yeah, and we're seeing some more convection flare-ups near the center of circulation as well. We're seeing 3 new ones right now.
Yep, I'm watching that too.
Yep. Whew. So,
what a night.
What a night. What are your thoughts of what's going to happen over the next couple of days?
If this continues, if this becomes a tropical storm, and this moves west-northwest, and it moves 17 miles an hour and then starts slowing down in the Gulf. And this becomes a tropical storm before the Gulf. This is 99% likely to become a Category 1 before landfall. The waters are warmer than ever in the Gulf. The wind shear is extremely low. And what I'm seeing with the structure, it's going to thrive very well in the Gulf of Mexico. And from past storms and comparing this with some others, it concerns me quite a bit what I'm seeing for the short term.
Yeah.
And when it gets off Florida, this could really stall or slow down significantly and strengthen.
Yes.
So multiple states are going to be impacted. Multiple people are going to be in the path of this.
Yeah, and we do now have a new update as well. There is now a tropical storm warning in effect for dry Tortugas, which is on the extreme western part of the Florida Keys. So we now have that as a tropical storm warning, so we're going to have to pay attention to that at this current point. But the fact that the discussion is pretty interesting right here, this is some pretty intense wording right now, and this is showing why the NHC is taking this seriously. Like, some of the phrases right here, the depression has not began to turn yet, and its initial motion is west-northwestward, as well as the forecast track now keeps it over the Gulf of Mexico longer. We don't have much wind shear stopping this either. 10 knots max. And the fact that this pushed south of Cuba into better wind shear now allowed for this thing to organize and develop.
It now really changed the whole ball game.
Yep. This thing just hit a grand slam. Question is, what's it going to do now? So, yeah. Has anyone noticed the new convection in the center? Yes, we've been paying attention to it. Thank you very much for keeping tabs on it. What a night it's been. What a night, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and show you this convection real quickly just to get some more keep some more tabs on it. Yeah, we're starting to see more consolidation in regards to that. let's see. When's this thing going to make landfall in Cuba, according to the NHC? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be making landfall in the next 12 hours, according to this. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. And if this thing gets any stronger than it does now, take this very seriously. I want to see if... Yeah, they haven't changed the surge map very much at all, according to this. So, yeah, the rainfall potential... Yeah, they haven't really changed that yet either, but they have changed the wind speed probabilities now. So we can go ahead and show you that. Wind speed probabilities based off what we're seeing right now. Tropical storm force winds for the Big Bend region, you know, have a 60 to 70% chance, according to the preliminary probabilities, of you getting tropical storm force winds in the Big Bend. 70 to 80%.
Pat.
What's up?
Hey Pat, I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna eat a little snack.
Take your time.
Really
Take your time. I'll be on here when you get back.
How long are you planning on staying on here?
It depends on how many questions are asked.
I'd say we should try to go until midnight, mainly because models.
Sure.
But if we don't have enough questions within like 20 minutes, we can end it.
Sure, that's fine. We'll plan to be on for another hour then, just so we can provide coverage. Yeah. We've been on for 2 already, so hey, why not tack another one?
By the way, before I go for a bit, I will say, you guys, Pat is one of the really awesome weather people out there. He's not over dramatic about his discussions. He is a very wise, smart with his decisions, and you guys should really subscribe and watch his videos because he gives very good information out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
I can agree. Also, Pat, look in VC No Mic. I've done a quick update.
Yes, you have, and we'll go ahead and read that out for the audience, just so they know what's going on. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. What was a tropical wave is now turned into Tropical Depression 4. It now has a low-level center and decent convection. Anyone from Naples to Alligator Point should be watching this closely. Writer's commentary. This was much earlier than what forecasters just earlier today have predicted. Hurricane-specific models like the ships can now be used with reasonable certainty. I think a hurricane is possible, and the NHC also thinks so. Quote, but if model trends continue, it's possible that future forecasts could explicitly show the system becoming a hurricane before it reaches land. Close quote. Next update will be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 3rd. You nailed it right on the head right there, Yoshi. Unbelievable. And thus begins the Tropical Depression 4 saga. And we have over 200 people in chat right now, which is absolutely bananas. Yeah, be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would really help us out and would be much appreciated if you did that. In the meantime, we will be taking questions on the chat, and we will go ahead and show you the homepage right here. Yep, Tropical Depression 4. There's the circle right here. It's official. The Debbie saga has begun on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. We had Beryl previously, and now we have the Debbie saga. Completely impressive. The outflow is impressive. Thoughts? Absolutely impressive. Let's go ahead and show you that. The outflow is absolutely insane for this. Like, this is a tropical depression through and through with such insane outflow. It's going to have a lot of breathing room in front of it. What else do we have? Yeah, I got to head out, guys. Once I get Discord, look out for me, Pat. Definitely Greg. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream. Much appreciated, man. Yeah, plus this is a fast moving storm. It's moving at 17 miles per hour, by the way. Debbie is developing her villain arc. Laughing out loud. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a barrel type of villain arc because that was a pretty insane storm that we covered here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But it is developing its villain arc. You are completely right about that. What impacts for Panama City? Panama City is a little is west of this, so it's going to depend on how this thing tracks, but for now, you should be fine outside of maybe a few outer bands at most, for now. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look. Adalia rapidly intensified beyond expectations. Any thoughts? We're gonna have to pay attention to it right now. We don't know what it's going to do in the next 2 days. But yeah, Dahlia definitely did intensify faster than a lot of people anticipated. So, yeah, and I remember that day too because we streamed for about 7 hours on the Pat's Path Predictor channel that day. Yes, Pat, does a great job. Thank you. Do you think the storm will go north and then turn east towards South Florida? No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, if this was going to happen, it needed to have been north of Cuba. How is Marco Island going to be heading there for a conference? Marco Island, Marco Island's in Collier County. You're under a tropical storm warning. You could see some tropical storm conditions possibly, especially in regards to rain. Flash flooding is a major risk over there, and same with tropical storm force winds. So you're going to want to watch the weather in regards to that. If your conference gets canceled, don't go to Marco Island. That's all I'm going to say about it. Defer to local officials. What are the factors contributing to the wind speed and trajectory of Tropical Depression 4? What we're looking at is wind shear, dry air, and sea surface temperatures, as well as vorticity. The vorticity's been absolutely impressive, as Yoshi was showing it earlier. This is an earlier scan of it right here, but this is an absolutely impressive signature in terms of vorticity. You don't see this a lot in the tropics with just an open wave, which is why it's now a tropical depression. But the other factors like warm water, we're looking at water temperatures 30 to 31 degrees Celsius or 86 to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Ocean heat content's another factor to pay attention to, although after Cuba, it may not be as much of a factor as it's going to move just east of the worst parts of the loop current. Then you have wind shear, 10 knots max of wind shear. Great conditions for development. Dry air is not going to do much to it. There's not going to be much dry air to it. So those are the factors tonight. What else do we have? Do I think the storm will start moving up and then take a sharper turn if the storm is getting better organized? Well, the steering currents would have to collapse for that to happen. That doesn't look very impressive for a tropical depression. Right now, it may not because there's not much convection over in this part of near the center of circulation. But the fact that we're already seeing this, the organization on this isn't the part that shocks me when it comes to a tropical depression. What shocks me is how early they did this with this thing just south of Cuba. We were expecting this thing to develop when this thing entered the Gulf. We're now ahead of schedule. That's what's surprising about it. What else do we got? What would happen if it starts moving at 20 miles per hour? It would move out of Cuba a lot faster, but it's probably not going to happen. Lee County, Florida, you're under a tropical storm warning. Tropical storm conditions are likely at this current point. Adalia went from a tropical storm to Category 4 in 24 hours. What's preventing that from happening here? It's going to depend on what the storm does, but it's not going to. It's not going to have much time over water at this point. Yoshi, what's your thoughts on that? Okay, I guess he's not here right now. I don't see it this time around. It's at this time around mainly because there could be some other inhibiting factors like the proximity to land, but that's becoming less of an issue now down the road. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, also, I know it isn't very big, but it's very circular. Yes, it is. It is absolutely very circular, and I do expect convection to really ramp up near the center of circulation soon. Storm surge in Lee City Unity. We can go ahead and show you the storm surge from the NHC's forecast right here. Storm surge, peak surge for Lee County 1 to 3 feet. That's your surge. Let's see what else. Could this be a hurricane when it gets to Tampa? Possibly, but it's too early to determine. Are there any?
I'd say it's gonna only become a hurricane right as it gets near the coast.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing as well right now. What else do we have? Yeah. Let's see. We already refreshed it. Any other disturbances coming down the path? We are watching one in the main development region, but there's not very much of a model spread on that. So, and also the main focus is on Tropical Depression 4 due to the proximity of land at this current point. Right now, we're prioritizing this as the greater threat, and we'll watch the disturbance in the MDR, but this is the greater threat. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, this is. Is there any more questions in the chat? Otherwise, Yoshi, is there anything you want to bring up?
Icon model should be running.
Icon should be running. Okay, we'll take a look at it because I'm curious. Because now it's after initialization. The 0Z's running. Yep, it is starting to go right now. We'll see what happens at this current point. Let's see.
Oh wow! It wants a slower solution.
A slower? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it wants a slightly more west but slower solution.
Yeah. That makes landfall as a 994 millibar system. I want to go ahead and take a look at the main sea level pressure wind on this. Okay, it's not quite caught up just yet, so we'll pay attention to that. But this now wants it as a 994 millibar system. What was it at 18Z? 999. So yeah, definitely a bit of an upswing in that regard. And it looks like in a matter of about 21 hours, it gets from 1,006 to 999. And it definitely organizes a lot. Definitely organizes pretty well. So yeah, that's the icon. Is the GFS running just yet? No, it is not. The nav gem, no, it is not. The European obviously isn't going to for a while. But
Hello,
yeah.
I'm back.
Hey, Weather Kingdom, what's up? We're just looking at some computer models right now. Icons coming in, calling for a slower system. 994 millibar potential hurricane as it approaches the Big Bend.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Before it was 999.
Slower too, right?
What?
Slower on approach to. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That is not good.
The icon wants this thing to make landfall on Monday afternoon.
What was it showing before?
Let me see. It was showing Monday morning earlier.
Okay. That's a few hours difference.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
We just got 2 people join. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
Who's here and now?
Justin.
Oh, this one's interesting.
Hey,
it strengthens a tiny bit on land.
Hey.
Down to 993?
Yeah. 994 down to 993 after the landfall.
What's the geography of the Big Bend? Is it full of swamps?
I wouldn't say it's full of swamps, but it is somewhat favorable for minimal brown ocean.
Brown ocean effect. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask. All right. Okay. Regardless, yeah, a pretty big escalation. Justin, if you've been watching this, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well, it developed a little bit earlier than I think we were all expecting. This was kind of a surprise. It's not the best circumstance at all, and especially since it's going to be like moving in a little bit further west. I think it could be a Category 1 when it makes landfall in Florida. Once it gets out of Florida into the southeast, that one I'm actually a little bit more concerned about, because they'll have probably a bit more time in like the warm waters, and if it stalls and kind of meanders around, things could really go haywire from there. So yeah.
We've noticed.
Yeah, I agree.
We've been taking a look at it. Yeah.
All right, I've gotten exact hours. Apparently, it's pushed back landfall about 5 to 6 hours.
Yep, it has. We were looking at it.
We're gonna have to see.
Go ahead.
I said we're gonna have to see with that. But I will say the current satellite, more convection just continues to blow up.
Yeah, I'm noticing.
Looks
it too.
like a few more new thunderstorms, especially in the meso.
Yep, I see it.
Sector, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm gonna also take a quicker look. Just a heads up, I am using this. I am using the Dapia radar, so it is going to be there's going to be flashing lights for a second. So for those in the audience that are prone to seizures, seizure warning for very quickly as I start to load this up. It's going to take a few seconds to load, so I figured I'd give you this time right now. So if you need to look away, go right ahead.
Guys, I got some more news upon the actual thing of the system. Apparently, it could very well be developing a core if you look at radar.
Could you show us that?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it on satellite.
I will show you that. I need to save it as an actual thing, though.
Yeah, it's been doing that. It's been developing a core over the last hour on satellite.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, whenever you can show send that to show it in VC no mic. But yeah, another escalating situation. Chance for a Cat 1, Pat. It's definitely there. It's absolutely there now. We have over 200 people in chat right now. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Be sure also we have a Discord server, Storms United. So if you want to add some insight to us, and if you want to kind of ask us questions live on the air, be sure to join the Discord server. It is in the top link right there. So yeah, we would really appreciate if you did that. What's up?
Yeah, I see it's in the chat.
All right, I'll take a look at it. VC no mic.
Yeah,
oh, yes, it is.
Developing.
Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and show our audience right here. Which, Yoshi, you sent this in. What area should we be paying attention to with this radar image?
The large blob of green. That is likely the core.
Yep, I see it.
Right now, what I'm seeing, it's moving west-northwest. I don't see it, like, crossing over the Cuba.
Cuba.
Yeah. Cuba, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
The more time over the waters.
Yep. The more time it spends over water, the better it gets. And it's evidently showing that.
Shows.
So, yeah. If you don't mind me asking, Yoshi, where'd you get this radar from?
I'll get it to you. I'm pretty sure I have it up on my thing.
Yeah, if you could send that
I do
over.
have a link to it either way.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
We definitely got a thunderstorm exploding within the center in the mesoscale. I see some white, so probably almost 70 to 80,000 feet up
70
of a new thunderstorm.
70 to... Don't... Wait, are you referring to cloud tops or just...
Yeah, cloud tops. My bad. Cloud tops.
Those are minus 70s. I was about to say...
70.
Yeah, those are minus 70 cloud tops, I'm noticing. But yeah, if Yoshi can send us that in VC no mic, that radar, so we could... just for future reference, because that would be very beneficial for the Pat's Path Virginia, because we have the Barbados radar now, which was very great for using when Beryl went through the Lesser Antilles, because we were able to see the eyewall replacement cycle, the first one it had in real time, where it just completely said, and I apologize for cursing very quickly, it pretty much told us to fuck off, and pretty much completed a merger and allowed for it to get up to a high-end Cat 4 before making landfall. So again, for those of you who are For those of you who are watching that have kids watching this, I'm sorry for swearing. I just had to say that very quickly. Come on, I just had to get one out of there. But anyway,
You're good.
I know.
How about we get two out there?
What's up? What do we got? Yo,
I'm trying to find it. It's another. I thought it was one radar. It's another radar. It turns
Okay.
out. All right,
Yeah.
I will find it quickly. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Ha ha ha. That was real, Pat. Yeah, a little bit, but come on. But I did it for the sense of comedy, so yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for appreciating my sense of humor. Nothing wrong with the F-bomb. Hey, every once in a while, it's not bad. But
Yeah.
Using more impact.
What's up?
So I know the exact radar, but this one's way better now because of the location in it. It's
All right.
Oh, I see.
location.
Yep. I see it. That's the link you sent us?
Yup. It is
Perfect.
located at Pico San Juan in Cuba.
Wonderful. I'm really glad we have access to this. Yeah.
I'll also share some more Cuban radars from Casablanca and Camgray if you want.
Please do, because we could definitely use that in case another system moves through. But yeah, we're getting some new tools on the air here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. Pico San Juan radar out of Cuba. That's okay. Okay, I'm taking a... Okay, someone's saying the GFS... Yeah, I saw... if you're referring to the previous GFS run where it had a hurricane hitting Louisiana like 12 days out, take it with a huge grain of salt. There's way too much uncertainty with that. I know the tropical wave you're talking about, we're watching it here as well. But for now, I'm taking it with a huge grain of salt because there's too much uncertainty. And my main priority is Tropical Depression 4 due to the proximity on land.
It's closer.
Yeah.
Yep. But I will say that wave out in the Atlantic that the GFS is referring has a lot of convection to it right now.
Yeah.
It has quite a bit of convection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as an epileptic, I so appreciate your warning as a priority. Yeah, I know the satellite imagery on the Joint Typhoon Warning Center one. It's not fantastic, so I always try to warn you guys ahead of time. All right, okay. Any more questions in the chat? We'd be happy to answer that for you.
I do have, for anyone that does not have like good radar, I will tell you something. It doesn't need an account. It is free. It's Quad Radar.
All right.
Let me get it over here. I'll share it to you, and you can sign up either during the stream or after. Don't really care.
I'll sign up after it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Unlike the NOAA sites or what some people might be using, it has better reflectivity and it actually has velocity too.
Yeah.
So, that's good. Is it free?
It's free, yeah. Just sign up with an account, and you have access to the entire United States for it, and clearly San Juan. But yeah,
for the new link you sent, what do we do? How do we do it?
You go up to live. You click on Live Radar, and it asks you to create an account, follow the steps, and then it'll bring you back to the same thing. And then you click on Live Radar, choose your radar, boom, you're good.
Yeah. Okay, we got some questions. Panhandle situation. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Apalachicola Bay eastward for now, but we'll have to pay attention to it. Big Bend, Leon County, hello. Everyone said here we have to be prepared. Yes, you absolutely have to be prepared for this. This is a very serious situation. Yeah. Yeah. Pat, what do you think about the Debbie potentially tracking west of the forecast? It arguably did already. It arguably did. I'm just trying to get my words right here. It arguably already did, but the thing with this is that could it move further to the west? Maybe a little bit, but right now we're gonna have to pay attention to it and watch the model trends because they've been going back and forth a lot of the time. So, yeah. All right. So, what else do we have? Yeah. Yeah, this is no time to be anything but nice. People are stressed and worried. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Anything to worry about in central South Carolina. If you're in the Columbia area, I talked about it earlier, you're a bit you're a bit inland to get really any real impacts from it. Is it going to make a westward push when it makes landfall? We don't know yet. Literally all the way here in Spokane, Washington, watching it. So I'm fascinated by these storms. Hope this isn't too damaging. Any thoughts on the storms off the West Coast? I honestly haven't looked at that region in a long time, so I'll get back to you in a little bit right now. But yeah, okay. Will there be evacuations in Tampa? Listen to your local officials. We don't know. Listen to your local officials. Higher cloud tops means more of a push westward by high altitude, east to west wind. Okay. Hey, Pat, will this shift back east? Hoping so. We don't know. We're not sure. The shift hasn't happened yet. Is the chance of this stalling on or near Florida possible? It definitely slows down a lot, according to the latest icon, as it moves towards Florida. It slows down from going from 17 miles an hour down to like 6. So that's something you're going to want to pay attention to. We have some more hours coming in from the icon. Yeah, this thing, according to this, moves just offshore of Georgia and then kind of just stays out and starts stalling over here. I would say that in terms of stalling, the more likely candidate is off Georgia or the Carolinas at this current point. Is this going to go?
Most likely will be a hurricane.
Yeah. Is this going to go as slow as Dorian? We don't know. We do not know.
If it stalls off the coast, that could be really bad.
Yes, it would. Yes, it absolutely could.
It would be extremely bad.
Yeah.
Could it strengthen to a major hurricane if it stalled and just stayed in the waters?
That's hard.
Don't go that far just yet.
That's hard to tell. And we have Ian in the stream right now. He's been helping us behind the scenes. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just got out of the shower. I just went to the fair, so.
That's fair. Okay.
You're good.
But in the meantime, Ian, we're looking at this. What are your thoughts on all the latest developments? We now have a tropical depression on our hands, much earlier than I think a lot of people anticipated.
Oh, it's already tropical depression now? Did they give a special update?
No, it was the 11 p.m. advisory.
Oh, I'm looking at my hurricanes app. It's still. Oh, it is a tropical depression. Oh, okay. Never mind. I didn't.
Well, we just broke the news to Ian. Right here on the screen.
I didn't look at it properly. Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're just look. We're just having a little bit of fun right now. Just because we're watching radar, we're watching satellite. It's a little bit tense in the room right now. So I figured we should lighten the mood just a little bit. But at the same time, we need to continue to stay serious. However,
stay serious.
Yeah, at this current point, the core is definitely starting to build up a bit. You're starting to see more and more cloud tops. Also, this thing's flashing again. So fair warning for those who have epilepsy. I'm watching this as well. All right.
Yeah, I'm noticing it on the mesoscale.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another. I'm gonna get another loop of this. So those who are prone to seizures, flashing lights warning once again. Just want to give you a heads up, but we'll kind of bear with this together. Oh, never mind. It didn't initially, but it's gonna do it soon. Yeah. Yep. There it is. So I figured it's a good thing. Oh yeah, we're seeing convection starting to flare up, even deeper convection firing up near the center. Yep. Small, minute details like that is going to be very key.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, it looks like it's. I know it's like moving like west-northwestward. It really does look like it's moving on a more westerly component. I don't know if that's just me, but who knows? It
definitely
very bad thing.
It definitely is. I'm seeing what you're seeing, but it's still generally moving west-northwest.
Yeah.
But like the more it wobbles, the more time it'll have over the Gulf of Mexico, and the more likely it'll be to strengthen even further. So we could be. I'm not trying to like overhype this. I'm not hyping this up.
Let's be a little cautious in that regard because there's too many uncertainties right now. But go ahead.
Yes, a lot of uncertainties, but just be prepared. That's all I'm really saying.
All right.
Could this get extremely strong? Yes, it could, but we just need to watch it.
Absolutely. That's the main thing, and because we're waiting for the 0Z runs for the rest of them to come in before we can make any more judgment calls based off of that. But for now, we're just kind of nowcasting it, and the stuff we're seeing right now is not the best from what I'm seeing. It's good for the system, but not fantastic for everybody else. So I just figured I'd make that pretty clear. I'm going to check and see if any of the 0Z runs are in yet for any of this. Looks like not quite yet.
Yeah.
None of them are on tropical tidbit.
Yeah.
Tropical tidbits take slower.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But I really wish they would get their stuff together so that way we could dissect this information and get it out to everyone else. Okay.
I'm curious where the position's going to end up being with the new GX test run.
All right, we got some more questions in the chat. Should I be worried? I live closer to the coast. If you're in the west coast of Florida, yeah, you definitely need to worry about this. Will Debbie go to Texas or Louisiana? No, absolutely not. No.
There's some outliers that say it. No.
This is a Florida system. No.
We have a good question. How does a tropical system wobble? Question mark. By SJLK.
Yeah. How does it wobble? That's kind of hard for me to describe, but wobbling is essentially the hurricane making erratic movements due to a rapid change in either the strength or the organization, just some sort of rapid change that causes it to wobble a little bit. That's kind of the general gist of it. What's up?
And if
someone said, "Will Debbie go to Texas?"
We already talked about. We already looked
Louisiana.
At it. No.
Yeah.
All right. How much do I think it'll weaken over Cuba? It won't. It's going to be moving through a relatively flat area of Cuba, relatively speaking, compared to the eastern half of Cuba, and it won't do much.
Warnings for Tampa will probably be tomorrow.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, they did upgrade the peak intensity so far.
Okay, the icon wants this thing to get to South Carolina as a 978 millibar system, just a heads up, at 126 hours out, and it's moving very slow. So it's moving just offshore.
That's another run.
It's moving just offshore, and Florida's definitely going to pose a problem, going to have some issues with this, but the Carolinas also are going to have an equal, if not worse, problem if this moves offshore. Any distance at this point.
Yeah.
Even if the shift moves a little bit more to the west, this thing, according to this, will find a way to get offshore somehow. Then again, that's probably due to the steering currents, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that worries me. What I've been seeing with the icon, for pretty much riding the Georgia's coast, South Carolina, even North Carolina's coast. Big time surge, if that is a category 2 hurricane, according to the icon. Big rain impacts, big time wind potentially. But everyone with Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, even North Carolina is going to have to watch this very closely.
My sister is actually in Charlotte, and she's like out of job for the summer. Should
Charlotte, North
be
Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
My sister is working in Charlotte, so North Carolina. Should they be watching this too?
Charlotte's a bit. Yeah, I would watch it, but they're gonna most likely get some outer bands from this.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. Yeah, I'm gonna take another scan of this seizure warning real quickly. Okay, it's not too bad, but still, core is really starting to ramp up. That's been
Not
pretty.
good.
Yeah, that's not good. It's been prevalent for the last 30 minutes, courtesy of this
Yeah.
thing moving off the coast of Cuba.
That's
Wow.
not good.
No, it's not. Could Orlando
I'm-
could Orlando get impacted?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could, but
They're-
tropical storm force winds. Yeah, I know my stuff gets cutting out. Yeah, the internet where I'm at's not fantastic. It's been kind of going up and down. So I do apologize for at least some parts of that. So yeah, it looks like the connection's healthier now, so we shouldn't have very many issues. But will Tampa be on the dirty side and get tornadoes?
Oh, that's
Damn.
another thing.
I wish-
Thank you for bringing that
Damn,
up.
I wish Tristan was here to talk about that, because that's his specialty.
Yeah,
I wish he was here, so I could talk to him about it.
That's very true with the tornado risk.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get Tristan to come in here, because I would love to get his take on tropical tornadoes, because that's a risk we need to watch. Yeah, regardless, it's still going to be a serious situation. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We still have well over 200 viewers right now. It's very much appreciated. So be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to come hang out with us or ask us questions live on the air, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. Link is in the pinned comment over there. We'll be watching for new members to come in. We would be very much appreciative if you did that. Okay, let's answer some more questions. Anyone worried about an hour east of Colombia could definitely get some outer bands at this current point. What else to worry about? Where along the Gulf Coast of Florida are the waters the hottest? We can go ahead and show you that.
Yeah.
They're like right off the coast of Tampa.
No,
Yep.
not even there, but pretty much the entire
Anywhere. Yeah.
northeastern quadrant of the Gulf is the warmest.
Oh wow.
That's how
There's even
expansive
some
it is.
spots of 33 degrees Celsius.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Oh man.
Let me see.
30. What was that?
Towards the shoreline.
Yeah, that's
You know,
isolated.
it's all
That's not going to
neat-
affect
The
much.
shallow area.
That's
Y'all
not going
need
to
me
affect
real
much.
quick. I am sorry. I have been trying to learn how to write a book.
Okay, Tristan.
So,
Okay, you're the man I needed to talk to you about, because we are talking about Tropical Depression 4 and the threat for tropical tornadoes. And since you're the tropical tornado guy, I figured I'd ask you for some advice on that.
And also,
so first off, let's
Hold
take
on.
a look at the structure right now. As you can see, the structure is pretty. You don't have a lot of thunderstorms here. There is not a lot of shear. It's not a lot of land interaction, and it's a very broad field. So yeah, maybe one or two weak tornadoes. Maybe if the Cuban mountains can help with the terrain, but otherwise, the tropical tornado threat is pretty low. My question is, what will be the structure when it gets to Florida? That's where you need to ask the real question. Because Florida is flat. Doesn't have as much lift and stuff. And unfortunately, I do apologize for this. I haven't looked at models because I've been trying to learn something that takes 20 years for writers to do.
We haven't
So that's why
looked
I have
at them
not been
very
looking.
much either because of the initialization of it.
Yeah, but if you notice something, it might be a worse situation than you think. Because there's one thing I think people pay. I need to ask y'all. Did you realize the center relocated?
It moved south of Cuba. That's what we know.
That's a relocation. And this is not for the viewers to panic. Do not panic over this, but this is my observation. Every time we have had a historic hurricane, it's been a center relocation.
Okay.
So that's the trend I've been seeing. Will this one do it?
We don't
Probably
know.
not.
We've seen
It's
that
going to be a
before.
hurricane. There's no way it's not a hurricane. You got the perfect divergence, got the waters. Could it mess up a little bit over Cuba? Yeah. But
Yeah.
I do think that it will likely, that doesn't mean guarantee, it will likely stay weak until after Cuba. And then depending on the structure, the waters, how much it gets organized, we'll see. But tropical tornadoes depends on so many things. First off, if a hurricane rapidly intensifies too much, it gets more of a circular shape or an annular shape.
Yep.
Which means it doesn't have much room for a tornado.
Yeah,
if a storm can strengthen but keep the rain bands on the northeastern and eastern side a bit more loose to promote supercell development within its outer bands, you can get tornadoes. It also depends, because if you get even a little bit of dry air in that system, it can promote tropical tornadoes. Trough angles can produce tropical tornadoes, especially if the trough's shear is able to align with the system or the remnants of the system.
Yeah.
There's just so many things to determine the threat level of tropical tornadoes. If I were to, I guessed a good number for barrels. I'm going to guess again. The amount of tropical tornadoes I would predict for this right now, with the knowledge I don't know, but also because it's the southeast U.S., and if it does a Hermine-like move, what a lot of models kind of wanted so far, then it's going to have a very good right band. So I would predict maybe at least 15 to 20 tropical tornadoes. That is an estimate. That's not guaranteed. But I've seen too many systems. Before people say it's going to peak at a Category 1, I think it's going to peak between a 2 and a 3.
What makes you say that?
Okay. There's 2 more. There's no way. Your divergence.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. I would not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, yeah.
In
what
fact,
makes you think that?
It has the perfect shape.
In what way?
Circulation. You gotta look at it carefully.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's what you want for a strengthening system. The question is,
could you explain to our audience what that would detail, because they don't know what exactly you're talking about?
Yeah.
If you can look, the circulation is just there. All the bands are circulating. There's a tiny bit of shear in that one island in the Bahamas. Okay. But around the storm, you don't have much dry air. You don't see a lot. It has a nice circulation already. And that circulation is now becoming the dominant circulation. And then you got all these bands. Now, here's the one question I do have. And this is where I have not looked at, and unfortunately, I don't know if I can give y'all a complete answer, is how much shear will there actually be?
I'm looking at it right
now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Considering that the models wanted to... A lot of the models were doing the old circulation. So, for the next 12 to 18 hours, and this is normally how it goes, I don't think we're going to get a lot of data. This is going to be one of those storms where the moment we know what's going to happen, you got 36 hours. You got 48 only.
Yep.
So if you are in Florida, I would say get ready for all the way to a Category 4.
Whoa. Okay.
That's a
little extreme right now. This thing's tropical. This is not even a tropical storm yet.
It's a bit too much.
The same thing happened during Michael. The same thing happened during so many systems. I'm not saying a Cat 4 is going to hit.
Okay, time out, one at a time. Let's let Tristan finish what he has to say, and then
I am not saying a Cat 4 is going to happen.
Okay.
But the weakness of our forecasters with systems this close is intensity. Am I saying a Cat 4 is going to hit? No.
We're absolutely not saying that. Just for disclaimer purposes, we're not saying that. We just... Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do the conditions support rapid intensification? Does the shape support it? Does the shear angle support it? Yes. So, I'm saying get ready for that high only because of the least regret.
All right.
There are so many systems where we have said it's only going to be a tropical storm in the Category 1, and it ends up hitting us a 4 or a 5.
Okay.
So all I got to say to the viewers is be prepared for the worst case scenario. And with the intensity guidance with this one, it's going to be very confusing.
All right.
Most likely. Now, the National Hurricane Center, in terms of the track, it could shift a little bit, but I kind of do agree on their track. The problem is that I'm basically get ready for a Cat 1 to a Cat 4.
Okay, we need to
be prepared.
Okay. All right. With that in mind, Yoshi, I know you wanted to say something. You have the floor.
Yeah.
All right. But the only thing I was going to say is that even saying that a category 2, at least according to these forecasts, is a tiny bit too much. Not out of a question.
All right.
I will respectfully say every time we've said that, it happened.
Well, here's the thing.
But we can't go bonkers.
We don't know what's going on just yet.
We can't go bonkers just because, another system did this. Like, people can say this about every single system.
Like, this
isn't
2020.
Even if it turned out weak, someone likely already said, but Hurricane Katrina was only supposed to be a Category 1, so this thing's going to be a 5, and then it turns out to be slop. We can't say this for every single system.
We're just going to say, get prepared for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say,
can I say something?
Okay.
No, I don't see, and this is the problem with Gulf of Mexico systems like this. Ida did it. Michael did it. All of them did it. We said it was going to be weak, and then they weren't. Okay. But there were other systems that we said that were going to be strong, and you just have to get ready for the worst. That's the rule with these Gulf of Mexico systems.
Okay.
If it's only a tropical storm to Cat 1, be thankful, because you don't know what's going to happen. And before people make fun of me, remember when we said Beryl was only supposed to be at least a Cat 3?
We said that.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes, and that's why I say get ready for the worst case situation, because just because we know what the track whatever is doesn't mean it can't change. We have human error. Forecasts have human error. We're still struggling on rapid intensification.
Tristan,
just get ready for a major, and if it doesn't happen, be thankful.
Okay,
that's my advice.
I can see Chat's a big fan of you.
Wow.
Okay. First of all, Tristan, as much as I appreciate your commentary on that, I can't subscribe to the alarmist, be thankful it's just a Cat 1. I do see the risk in regards to this, but there's not enough evidence to support this being anything higher than a high upper end Category 1. Except for the fact that we saw this happen over the last 6 years,
and not only that, but you got waters over 30 to 31 Celsius.
I see that as well. I see that as well. But the thing is, this thing hasn't even crossed Cuba yet. And
so the problem you have with this system is that it's not that. We don't have a lot of data on the new center.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
But the trend of the new center is you go more west. If you go more west, you have more water.
That's true, and you're getting closer to the loop current. But I don't want to. I'm not.
We don't want to tell people it's going to be a major and it's not going to be. But I also don't want to say that it's not going to be a major and then people get confused. And then
I understand.
And then they risk their lives.
I get that, but we can't. Well, we can't just say this has a high chance of being a major hurricane because other models have done that.
I'm not saying that at all.
I know you're not, but I know you're not, and I know I'm kind of over exaggerating a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I don't want people to subscribe to that belief.
There's always the saying, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and this is one of those systems.
Yep.
So many Gulf of Mexico systems have tricked us. And that's why all I'm saying is get ready for a major, and if it doesn't happen, be thankful. But it's better to be prepared with human error.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with the human error part of it, but I don't want to go around and say you should be thankful this was not a major hurricane. Not just because this is uncertain. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me say this. I don't want people to think that, just a Category 1 isn't bad either, because it is. We saw what Beryl did in Texas.
We saw it in Beryl. Exactly.
We saw what Beryl did in Texas, and it was a Cat 1.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The GFS new run is coming out, and it's further west.
Okay. Well,
For our viewers, all we're telling you is get ready for the worst, hope for the best. If it's not a major, then be thankful. But remember, just because a hurricane is not a major does not mean it won't do damage. In fact, models have been trying really hard to do a lot of rain on the Florida coast. I've seen some models with at least 25 to 40 inches of rain, even though I
That's
don't
true.
see that yet. We're going to look at the steering currents in the future to see what that occurred.
Yep.
But guess what? We can't do that. Do you know why? Because there's now a new center. And that's the problem with me saying what I'm saying. There's a new
Okay.
center. It confuses everything.
All right.
It's just really... And for Tallahassee, I'm going to be honest with y'all over there. We don't know because a new center just formed.
Well, that's
So for the people in
that I
Tallahassee,
can agree with.
just watch it and get ready. If nothing happens, then be thankful. But just prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And if the storm doesn't hit you, you did not waste your time because then you'll be ready for the rest of hurricane season.
There you
for
go.
another system to come.
Exactly. That's your point right there.
So just because you go to the store and you waste your supplies on one hurricane doesn't mean you wasted your money because now you have supplies for another hurricane.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Can
I appreciate, and before people say, well, I appreciate people disagreeing with me because I could be wrong. I'm not a god. I'm just saying get ready.
Yeah.
I'm not a god. I like disagreement because it makes a good conversation.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. That's a fair assessment. Does anyone have anything else they would like to say either in response to or in tandem of what Tristan was saying? Anyone?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm watching GFS, so.
Yeah, I'm watching the GFS too. I was keeping an eye on it.
Yep.
It wants this thing as a 997 to hit the big millibar system to hit the Big Bend in 48 hours.
That's rookie numbers.
What?
That's rookie numbers. It would likely it will likely at least be a category.
Okay. Regardless, just
BFS is west and stronger.
And also, thank you, comic for EWE. It's an apology. I am tired. For the $20 donation.
Wow.
Do appreciate it here.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for the $20 donation, comic. We really appreciate that here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. It's not very often we get donations like that, and the fact you've contributed to some of your money to the Pat's Path Predictor channel to keep this channel going really it's humbling to see stuff like that. But yeah.
I will say the new Canadian that's coming out. I won't say worry about the intensity on it, but the track is west too.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking
further west.
The problem is it's initializing too far to the east. It's north. It's north of Cuba at 1 a.m. and we know that's not happened. That's the problem I have with it. Yeah.
I do think it will move more to the west because you don't have a trough. It's going to follow the it's really going to follow the Bermuda High.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
There is definitely some western shear that that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tropical weather discussion. Alex actually sent in an image saying definitely some western shear. Any thoughts on that?
On what? What is he?
Look at
I am cautious on that because models tend to underdo shear. They underdo or overdo. So that's the problem with the system. The new circulation has just made this.
There's what? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Get Alex to join VC. I want him to. He doesn't have a mic, so in VC no mic. I'm gonna have him yeah. I'm looking at this right now. this is all behind the scenes for those watching in, tuning in. If you want to come see the behind the scenes, join the Storms United Discord server. Link to that's the first one up there. We'd really appreciate that, so that way you can kind of see the wackiness that goes on. But in the meantime, subscribe to the channel if you are new and like the stream. It would be much appreciated, and I guess Tristan's a rather popular person to have on the stream, so, well...
I respectfully don't like popularity.
I mean, hey, the audience thought you were a hit, so you clearly you're gonna have to. How do I say this correctly? You're clearly gonna have to.
I don't want the audience. I don't want the audience taking if I do an analysis for the system or whatever. It's not all going to be 100% true. Forecasting is about trying to predict the uncertainty and the human error,
of course,
versus the science and study that you do for what you study for.
Yes.
So we're going to be wrong in some things, and we're going to be right at some things. It just depends on how the system acts. Mother Nature can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, that's true. But that's true. But I think the main focus we should take away is that we need to find new ways, and this is for everyone tuning in, and I know this is kind of going off on a bit of a tangent. We need to find new ways to reduce that margin of error, not just to save lives, but also to kind of, understand weather a bit more, because weather is such an unpredictable aspect of things that there's always a new mystery, and if we can harness that mystery a little bit better, it'll save millions of dollars down the road, and it'll save tons of lives. So I think that would be an important thing to kind of note at that point. So, but that's just me. But anyway,
a lot of people asking about Tallahassee. I can't answer that for you because the new center. Again, that's the problem we have. The models have not done the relocation of the center. Yeah. And in order for us to understand the threats, we have to wait for a little bit more model data. And again, that's the problem with Gulf of Mexico systems. That's the problem with the Central American gyre systems. The low pressures and weak systems always like the change. And then the moment we think we figured it out, suddenly something happens.
Okay.
That's the
convection continues to develop.
And that convection's doing very well. Again, the way the system looks, it's a classic tropical wave.
Yep.
It looks like a classic. It's so classic, and it's so scary to think. It's perfect. It's asymmetric, yes, but this is as close as you can get to a tropical wave. Not a tropical depression, excuse me.
Yeah.
A tropical depression that is rotating like this. That is perfect. How many tropical depressions have we seen, even for the beginning of systems, look like this? Not many. So this is one to take seriously. The question is, however, the biggest question is, how is the warm water going to fight against any shear? If we do have any, and Alice posted something about shear, correct? Is that GFS 250 millibar?
Okay.
Wind speed streamline.
Well, regardless of that, I will tell you this, Tristan. Even though the convection, at least in that area, is doing kind of well, it's in a very small area, because none of the convection across in a lot.
It's in a small area.
Yeah, it's in a small area. We're gonna have to watch it, but for now, for now, we just need to see how this develops first before we make our next move.
My biggest question is, right now, to the moment it gets off Cuba, that's my biggest question.
All right.
And then the next question is, what will the trough... There is a small trough I've noticed at the 250.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex, correct me on that again.
All right.
My God, thank you, Alex.
In the meantime, we have a $5 donation from Icy Shot. You guys are great. First time tuning into your live streams. I enjoy all your guys' different inputs. Pat, you are extremely talented in the forecast. Thank you very much for the donation. It warms my heart every time that pops up. I always appreciate it. Oh, we got another $5 donation. From Toy Rocket over here. Could this reach Category 5 similar to Irma back in 2017?
No.
No.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have enough time.
Absolutely
It's
not.
No.
impossible.
I appreciate the donation,
It's
but no, that's not going to
impossible.
happen.
We've seen some systems do amazing things.
We have, but we can't just.
This won't be one of them.
This won't be one of them. There's just too much uncertainty right now to really say that.
There's too much uncertainty. I'll give it a 0.5 chance just because anything can happen. That's the only reason why. But
I'll give it 0.1, but if you want to split the difference at 0.3, then go right ahead and split the difference. That's all I'll give it.
I do agree that there is a very tiny chance of that, but we don't have the details. We don't have the data on the new center. That's what is important.
Yeah.
The tornado risk for people, I know a few people are asking about that. It's very, with Florida.
Oh my God, we got a $50 donation. Wow.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
We got a $50 donation.
$50 donation by Shane
Thank
Davis.
you.
Thank you very much for that. That means a lot to me.
There are multiple
it means a lot to
that
everyone.
contribute to tropical tornadoes, and I'm gonna repeat them again for.
All right.
I'm gonna repeat them again for people. One, the location of where you're at in the storm is mostly the eastern and northeastern side. Two, is there any wind shear from a trough angle, a strong trough angle that is not just one that helps the direction of the storm, but one that provides some wind shear. Third, how much land difference is there? Are there small hills that help wind shear at the lowest levels of the atmosphere? Is it completely flat? And another thing is, tornadoes like moisture, but if a storm, let's say the storm did rapidly intensify. Let's say the system did go a Michael route. Well, what did Michael not do? It didn't produce a lot of tornadoes. Why? Because it was so symmetrical that the supercells did not really have time. It didn't matter anyway, because it did a lot of damage. But my point is that tropical tornadoes have so many little mesoscale factors within tropical systems. You have to, and some of the best tornadoes, Barrow had dry air in a trough. Ivan had dry air in a trough. It just depends on the meteorological setup during the landfall and beyond that determines your tornado potential and also the terrain that it landfalls in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In the meantime, though,
Tristan is stealing all of our fame here.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like doing that. Y'all have a good conversation. I'm gonna get a nice drink.
All right, Tristan. Thank you for joining and giving us some insight.
I'm not going anywhere.
No. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
My bad. Okay. In the meantime, though,
we want him here. The fans love him.
Yeah. In the meantime, I know they do. In the meantime, though, T-Vold just messaged me. He was asking for my own predictions for this whole system, and if you guys don't mind, I would like to give my input, and if you guys would like to give yours, your choice. But here's my total input. This is what T-Vold is asking for, and I'm sure this is what a lot of the audience would like here. This is my... Oh, wow. Thank you so much for the $10 donation, first of all.
Awesome.
You guys are all awesome. Thanks for the endless hours of information here on YouTube and in Discord. Your passion and dedication doesn't go unnoticed. Ken Janey, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. In the meantime, I will go to my forecast so that way we can neatly wrap this up in a nice little bow and we can kind of give you a general consensus. Track-wise, I think the Big Bend is a good call for now. This thing is moved south of now south of Cuba, apparently either due to a relocation of the center or a change in the track for a few hours. We'll figure that out behind the scenes, but that's one of the two things. Track-wise, the Big Bend's a good call, and I do agree with the models that this thing's going to stall because of the collapse of the steering currents and the trough. I do agree with that.
Oh, I forgot about the GFS.
Yeah, we've been watching it. In the meantime, in terms of intensity, that's going to be a lot more difficult. Primarily because you have so many factors like shear, dry air, I know Alex behind the scenes was showing some influence of some west-southwesterly shear. We need to pay attention to it. We need to keep an eye on it, and that might be an inhibiting factor down the road if it does persist. My personal opinion on intensity, I do agree that this will be a hurricane. The NHC is even pointing out this could be a hurricane as well. And they're saying that they could put this as a hurricane in their forecasts. How strong of one? I'm capping it at 90. Because there's some inhibiting factors in regards to it. We need to pay attention to those. And every minute detail needs to be monitored. So that's why I'm holding it at 90, unless I see some information that completely blows this out of the water. What are your guys' thoughts? And what is your guys' input on that?
I agree.
I agree.
I think the thing
As of now, I
you have
agree.
to-
I'm not ruling out a stronger storm, but as of now, I do think it probably will be 90 miles an hour, maybe a low-end Cat 2, but we'll just see. I'm not ruling out a very strong storm in the Gulf, though. I'm not ruling that out in the slightest. Major hurricane, I'm not ruling out, but it's a very low chance right now.
Okay.
That could change.
Yeah.
That could change, but we'll see.
All right.
I'm
So
not-
okay.
It depends on multiple things, including the evolution of the storm,
Yep.
how it does
Exactly.
with Cuba.
Yep.
The waters are piping hot. That's not-
Yep.
There's no dry air.
Exactly. No dry air. Very
There is
little
some
wind
wind
shear.
shear, but remember, we have seen before. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. We have seen storms fight wind shear amazingly when there's no dry air. So
Yeah.
even if the system got sheared last second, would it really do anything? No. Besides produce more tornado chances.
Yeah.
Barrel that Arrow had.
Yeah. For sure.
So-
I remember seeing someone. Oh, go.
All I would say is get ready for the worst, hope for the best. Storm doesn't affect you that bad. Keep the supplies for a next hurricane or the next hurricane season, and just
I'm clapping.
pay
don't worry.
attention.
Yep.
Pay attention.
I think we can agree on that right there. We can agree on that
saying there
statement.
is dry air. I mean, if there is dry air, there's probably very little of it.
Yeah, there's definitely some on the western side of it for sure. But we
Where's this
have to
dry
keep an
air
eye on
from?
it.
Let me look. Remember, I haven't looked at the storm that much.
That's
I'm just
true.
going off instinct.
That's true.
Let me
That's
check
true.
this dry
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, Alex, I see it too. But anyway,
There is some dry air on the western side. If you see an outflow boundary.
yeah. All right.
All right, I'm gonna take
Well, I
off
think we
now.
just got a what is
All right,
it?
Justin, you heading out?
Yeah.
just-
Well, thank you
Well,
for
I'll
the
be
very
around for the next
enlightening
section.
moments you had here, and I'm glad we were able to wrap this up nicely with you here.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you have a nice night.
Oh yeah, we might
You
might
too.
see a little dry air.
Yeah.
There probably is some dry air.
Okay, we got another $10 donation right here. This is another question, but is there a possibility that this tropical depression, based on how large it looks, could be a very large hurricane? I'm talking over 600 miles. No.
No,
We're not even talking about that.
That's like the size of oh god, that's like half of the United
like
States.
Katrina
I'm pretty
size.
sure.
No,
No.
it's not gonna be
No.
that big.
No.
Could the influence of the moisture be a little
Absolutely
bigger,
not.
considering the trough and high pressure angle? Yeah, but it's not gonna be a huge system. Small to medium system, I would say, depending on the intensification and the moisture influence. I would say.
Yeah.
But remember, again,
Yeah.
that's just my thoughts.
That's fair.
That's not.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But in regards to that, is there any last thoughts you guys would like to add before we end the stream tonight?
I think
yeah.
we can end it.
All right.
Prepare for the
Don't be-
worst.
don't
hope
be
for the
scared.
best.
Okay,
quickly.
one at a time. We have a lot
Prepare
of
for
people
the
on
worst.
stream.
Hope for the best.
All right.
Yep. Prepare for
I
the
will
worst,
s-
hope for the best.
Go ahead.
Don't
Weather
be
Repo-
caught
oh,
off
sorry.
guard. Tropical storm, hurricane, major hurricane, tropical depression. They can still bring life-threatening impacts, even if this doesn't turn into a hurricane. you still have flash flooding, you have tornadoes, especially with the way I've been seeing the steering currents kind of try to make the system a lot slower than normal. So just because if this doesn't go into a hurricane, let's say that the dry air, the shear does impact it.
All right.
That still means that you could get chances for life-threatening flooding because this system has high moisture content, and it depends on the speed of the system, and it depends on the synopsis. So just don't be scared. Be prepared. If one system fails to hit you, you have the supplies for another system. There you go.
All right.
I will say there on the satellite imagery, there is more convection blowing up in the mesoscale.
Yeah, I'm watching it too. It's going to be something we're going to have to watch, but regardless, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it on this note right here. There's a lot of unknowns with this right now.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so we'll pay attention to it, and we're probably going to continue to stream until as this continues to evolve. Thank you for all the support tonight. I really appreciate all the donations,
all the support on my channel too.
That you've made. And I appreciate you checking out Weather Republic's channel. I put his link in the chat so you guys could go subscribe to him because he does similar content to mine. His stuff's pretty good. So, yeah, I figured I'd shout him out. But in the meantime, what's up?
Did you say Weather Republic?
Oh, sorry, Weather Kingdom.
Oh,
that's okay. You two screw me up sometimes.
Fair.
Okay, but in the meantime, point is this. We're going to keep you updated here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed Tristan's electric quote-unquote debut, even though he's been here for a little while. And I'm really glad you guys decided to tune in tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us get more videos out like these. Remember, the goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. And with that being said, have a wonderful night, guys. Stay safe.
Have a wonderful night.
See ya, y'all.
See ya.